Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are we doing? It feels a long time since I was live and stuff like that. The last time we were live was playing the game, would you believe? We still have to finish that game, by the way, but we'll talk about that later on. Uh, so, yeah, a lot of things have happened the last few days. I'm sure you probably have seen uh, the community posts, etc., etc. There's a lot to discuss now. So, you have to listen to me. Last time we were live was 6 days ago, yeah, highway patrolling. Um, yeah, so we have to finish that obviously too. So yeah, there's a lot to discuss tonight. So we wait a few minutes before we get into all the shenanigans because there's quite literally a lot now to be totally honest. And I'm going to be on for a good few hours probably. There's a lot. I don't know where to start to be totally honest. That's the kind of beginning and end of it. I don't know where to start. So but yeah, long story short, it was a good experience. Yes, to put it nicely. To put it in to put it the simplest way possible was quite good. Um, but yeah, I know I'm a few minutes early too. That's because I'm just literally going to be here all day talking nonsense. So it's a lot of people, but yeah, it's a good experience. Really, I'm a lot more. I'm sure if you compare the last live stream uh, to this live stream, I'm a lot more better form and stuff like that. It's a quite difference. Let's put it that way. If you compare before to now, it's night and day pretty much. Like generally, you go and do that later on. Like look back in the last live stream, not the Highway Patrol one, the other live stream where I was on camera, etc., etc. Go back to that one and just see the differences, both in my demeanor and the way I was. Because it wasn't the best in the last live stream. That live stream, it wasn't in the best form, to be totally honest. Because obviously, what happened the week before, and obviously the stress and annoyance of all that. Um, I'm a lot different of a person now, I suppose, than I was just last week. A lot more upbeat, I suppose. Let's put it that way. And it's a good thing, I suppose. It's a good thing that I went to it. I'm a lot more happy, I suppose, than I was the other week, which is a good thing. Again, it's a worthwhile cause that I'm happy, I suppose, in that terms. Because yeah, it was really fucked up, I suppose. But the week beforehand when I done that live stream, how many days ago was it? I don't know. My time, like 6 days ago. Yeah, it was entirely different. Yeah, that was that Saturday. So pretty much last Saturday. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Hello, Farrell. How are you doing? We'll give it a few minutes again. I know hundreds of people probably have asked me different things now about being there, etc., etc. But we get to all that. We just chat among ourselves for a few minutes. Now there won't be too much discussed about like things that are happening around the country. We will get back to that Wednesday. Like I'm determined to get back to my YouTube schedule and stuff like that, live streaming twice a week. And then obviously we have to talk about other issues, etc., etc. Do a video on this 4 hours waiting for an ambulance. Thankfully, I'm in a lot better form now to do it and stuff like that. Because if I'd done it last week, it would have been incoherent, basically, what I'm trying to say in terms of making that video and stuff like that. It would have been very, very angry and very annoyed. So at least now I'm able to at least control myself to a certain degree. So I'll be able to make that video this week. Because it has to be said. It's still, regardless of my good form or not, it still needs to be said. And it can't be just brushed away and be told to forget about it, etc., etc. Because I say that's what they're hoping for. A lot of the local politicians want to hoping that they brush it aside and forget about it and won't talk about it. That's what I say. That's what they want. That's what they want to happen. They don't want me to speak up about it. They don't want it at all. So they're hoping that they'll just forget about it and not bother. But yeah, it's not. That's not going to happen, unfortunately. Just to say to them, so they look forward to that, I suppose. Hello, Dowd. How are you doing? But yeah, there's 100 million things to discuss tonight in terms of one event, etc., etc. Not so much what's happening in the country, even though there's a lot to discuss what's happening in the country. Like next Wednesday, it's going to be probably a long time, probably 3 or 4 hours live, like catching up on different things that have happened over the last before, like yeah, just about Christmas, yeah. So it's a good while to go. Well, try and be sensible, try, yeah, do try my best. Uh, in this world, it's hard to be sensible sometimes, but you do your best. Um, so yeah, there'll be no music for the moment. We probably put on music later on, just because I have to think about everything that I'm talking about, etc., etc. Because I need to try and structure, because there's a lot of things happened over the last 2 days, and not the last 2 days to say, from Wednesday and Thursday. Um, you know, get there. Hello, Fiona. How are we doing? Um, but yeah, I suppose we probably should start at the beginning. So yeah, we'll just give it another 5 minutes. But anyway, how we all doing? I hope everybody is well this last. I know it's been very cold and very slippy the last few mornings. I hope everybody is warm and I hope everybody's in great form in the last few days. Hope everybody's having a good start to the new year because again, uh, it's really pretty much the first week of the new year, pretty much. The first force working week, I suppose, if that makes any sense. So I hope we're all well with that. I hope people are in a good form. I know because I know a lot of people probably were snowed in and stuff in Cork and in Kerry. Um, but yes. But yeah, yeah, I will get back to live streaming. I'm determined now to get back um, to live streaming twice a week. So that's going to start on Wednesday. Hopefully, I'll touch wood. Everything goes well and works out. Because I want to get back into the game. I suppose a lot more optimistic, like compared to 6 days ago. A lot more down. There was a lot more very upset, I suppose. I'm very annoyed and upset. I'm an entirely different person now. My demeanor has, well, not entirely different. Like I'm not going to change overnight and stuff like that. But in terms of how I feel, I suppose I feel a bit more better, etc., etc. That makes sense. So I'm a lot more able to do things and stuff like that. So I don't have that huge weight. I suppose beforehand you would call it a weight. A bit of anger, a bit of annoyance. In the last live stream, I'm sure you remember, I was not in the best humor with what happened the week beforehand with my father, etc., etc. But thankfully, I'm a lot more optimistic now and a lot more happier. I think that's a good thing. Hello, little England. How are we doing? Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to say that, Brian. But yeah, hello, Brian. How are we doing? We will get to all that, though, wait, and I'm sure you're dying to know. I'm sure you have the newspaper out writing the door down. Not the newspaper, the piece of paper. Um, so yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We'll just chat among ourselves for a few minutes. We relax because it's going to be a long night to talk about it all. Um, but yeah, and I show people what to know the price and stuff like. Because many people asked me before this, what's going to be the price of it all? I know that was a very topic for many people. Well, how much does it cost and all that? Because cap people, so that will all be revealed at some point tonight. Um, Now I probably will forget stuff because there's that many things. I probably should have wrote down all these things that I wanted to say, but there's a lot to say. There's a lot to say. Um, because I had to try and structure it. What happened first, then this happened, and the other thing happened. It's hard to remember it all. Too much happened to compile it all, I suppose. Um, so no other fun with anybody before we get started and talking about the whole week more because we started early a bit. Um, so no other fun. Did anybody do anything fun the last week? Just before we started, because I probably won't shut my mouth for the next probably 2 hours. So um, so it's better to say something now than in the middle of it, because Tony come in and be like, put on the kettle, um, and all that. I probably should have a notepad too if I need to write anything down, because I probably like to try and judge my memory and stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. But just to say the highway, hello, Cowan. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Happy New Year to you. I hope you're doing well on this lovely Saturday evening. Even though it's not, it warmed up a good bit now compared to the weekend by. It's watching a lot of it's terrible what happened in LA, but it's crazy how the fire spread so much. Like basically, it was so dry too. I suppose the ground that the fire just went like went everywhere. Because the ground was just so dry. So without any and everything just caught combusted. I suppose is what I mean to say. Um, James Bond 007 with the man with the golden gun. Watching James Bond. Hello, hello. How are you doing? I can't pronounce that, but how are you doing? Hope we're well. Good evening. I hope all's well with you. I hope you're having a good Saturday. Um, uh, I've been doing a lot of thinking now the last few weeks too. But the last week particularly, I get to probably it all. That's a whole nother topic, I suppose, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I'm just randomly just saying that. I don't know why I just randomly said that, but I was doing a lot of thinking the last week too about different things. I hope we're well anyway. I hope everybody's well. But yeah, anything else before we go? Because I'm just going to be here. You're going to listen to me for probably 3 hours, not shutting my fucking mouth. Excuse my language, but you're going to have to listen to me for about 2 hours. Go on and on and on and on and on. So I hope everybody's looking forward to that. See why I'm probably causing a bit more too, is because there was a fellow at the platinum thing, and he every word he said was nearly a course, and stuff like that. So that's the reason why. But yeah, I suppose I get started. I probably should have bought a 53 because it's going to take that much. So yeah, let me just get this. I suppose we talk about the first, like the beginning. So yeah, so obviously everybody know went to the Platinum Summit. I show you the goodie bag in a second. I'll put a picture up on it. But yeah, I got this. So thank you again to the Platinum Summit for that. So long story short, yeah, it was Wednesday and Thursday just gone by. The event. I went for a bit of the second day. I was there the whole day, the first day, but I went the second day for an hour or two. The second day, I didn't stay all day long. The second day. But long story short, I went up to Tuesday, midday Tuesday. It was around 12 o'clock. And I have to say, it was good value, the bus ticket. I thought the bus ticket, I know this is just not to do with the event, but just the bus ticket to go from Cavan to Dublin was pretty cheap. I thought it would be a lot dearer. It was only €13, €14 to go up to Dublin. One way and then one way back. I was expecting 20 something euro. But yeah, that was good value to go up to Dublin, 2 hours on the bus. I thought it'd be 27 euro or something like that, but it was only, hello, Tony. I knew you were going to say something like that. But yeah, no, do you not think that was good value? 13.50 cents, €13 and 15 cents up and down, which is not that bad. So about 27 something, back and forth, which was not bad. I was expecting 27 for one way. So that was good value. Just to say, I haven't been on a bus to Dublin in donkey's years, so it's good value in my opinion. It was good value because I was expecting 30 euro. Like I went up to like Clonus that time, which was just not too far up the road, and I had to pay more to go to Clonus than I did to go to Dublin. It didn't make any sense, but yeah, it didn't make much sense. But sure, look at. No, just in that random observation. That was just the first thing, just when I was going up. But yeah, we went up. Thankfully, it wasn't that bad. It was snowing here in Cavan when I left Tuesday, midday Tuesday. Living the fucking buses. Yeah, well, they're handy enough. It's handy enough. It's better than driving because I would get lost. To be totally honest, like with all the motorways and stuff like that, double chaos. Like whatever about Cavan, it's easy enough, but the city's just chaos in terms of traffic and stuff like going this way and that way. It would have been pretty, probably would have been. But yeah, no, I didn't mind. I'm not complaining. I thought it would be more. That's what I'm saying. I saved a bit of money because I was expecting 30 euros up and like one way. So I saved money. Great for Cavan people. Cavan people always know the way. But yes, that's what happened. So it was very heavily snow Tuesday here in Cavan. It was snowing. It was icy. It was all kinds of weather. So thankfully the bus went. When I went to Dublin, when I got up, it was very icy in Mead and etc. So, but as soon as we got to Dublin, there wasn't one bit of snow, one bit of ice. There wasn't anything about. There was not 1 inch of snow in Dublin. So that doesn't make any sense. Literally an hour away from Cavan, it snowed in Cavan. there was no snow in Dublin. It doesn't make much sense. Like it was pretty mild the last few days in Dublin. It was cold. It was very cold, but there was no snow. There was no ice, so it's very good. Because if there was snow and ice, there would have been war probably because I would have went mad. Um, so I went to stay in a hotel nearby the convention centre and all that. It wasn't that far away from the convention centre. It was only 2 streets down, which is great and all that. But yeah, so went up to Dublin, etc., etc. Have to say, we went through O'Connell Street. The bus went through O'Connell Street. I wasn't on O'Connell Street walking, but have to say, around O'Connell Street, there's not many people around as there used to be. I think people are just too afraid to be on the streets of Dublin because there was nobody on O'Connell Street nearly. There was maybe 100 people or so. And this was at 3 o'clock, or about 2 o'clock, so excuse me, 2 o'clock there on Tuesday. There was nobody on the streets of Dublin's city centre. So you can tell the difference. And I used to be on O'Connell Street back in the day when I was younger. Even before when I went to Dublin that time during the summer, the whole footpaths are full up, etc., etc. Nobody's about the city centre. There's nobody really about. So I don't know, was it just the cold or what was the people just too afraid? It's insane. David Goggins. Oh, you want the yeah? Like it's a big place the convention set. We'll get to that anyway. Because there is a big place. The first time I was on the convention set, I was never in it for any other reason. They usually have events and stuff like that. I never went to a concert in my life, like a music concert and stuff like that, and stuff like that. So it's quite insane. Then obviously then they have the integration of Irish citizens, the convention set, and the Dáil set too. Funny, we'll get to the story of that, but yeah. So I don't know if this is just describing how I got up and etc. etc. Because I'm starting from the beginning, kind of walking because there's a lot, so you have to walk with me on it. So yeah, no, but there's not as many people around Dublin as there used to be in terms of walking about traffic, etc., etc. There is nobody really around. I don't know if that's because people are too afraid to go out, etc., etc. Funny enough, I didn't see one girl around the whole city. There was more girls around Cavan than there was in Dublin city centre. So I don't know where all the girls are or what they're doing, but there's no one to be found. Like on the first day when I was there, when we were going on a bus through the city centre, there wasn't one I seen. So I don't know what the government are smoking because they're saying there's girls on the beach, etc. So there wasn't one around O'Connell Street. So I don't know where they all are. They're hiding somewhere. It's too cold for them. That's the problem. Not too much, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember around 2011 or something, when I was that younger, going down O'Connell Street, and Jesus, you wouldn't walk down both sides of because there was just that many people going about their business and stuff like that. Like now, when I was on the bus, unless it's the cold, because again, this is 2 o'clock in the day, maybe 200, being generous, 200 people on the streets of O'Connell Street. That was all. And the same with the other streets going down towards Bus Office in Dublin. There was not many people about, like not packed, like you know what I'm trying to say. And even along the quays, I got off from Bus Hours and walked down to my hotel from Bus Hours, etc. So there wasn't many around the quays going up to the convention centre that direction. With nobody hanging really about. There was nobody about really. Not really. Now it was a great welcome. So when I got off the bus at Bus Hours, that's where I got off. Just beside the Customs House there, just going towards the convention centre, the Customs House, if anybody knows the Customs House in Dublin. It was a great. What I'm trying to say is the typical like Dublin thing you see nowadays: a needle just lying on the ground, on the middle, on the footpath, beside the customs house. Of course, you know. No, I think people are just too afraid to be told it. Like I think that's just the main thing. There's a story about that in a few minutes, in terms of what one person said at the convention centre. We get to that. Yeah, I was there that evening. Yeah, there was a lot of people coming from the event. And the fell with the shotgun stuff. I was only down the street too. But it seemed like he didn't intend. I don't think he intended. I think he was trying to sell the shotgun or something like that. That's what I'm saying. Did I see any chats? Unfortunately, I did. Yeah, but not. I wasn't the one the Grand Canal and stuff. But unfortunately, on the way up to Dublin, I don't know whereabouts. It must be outside Blanchardstown or something like that. But there was heads underneath a bypass, like a bridge on the motorway. I don't know what motorway, but there was unfortunately Teds there. Like people had like in Teds there. I don't know who they were, but there was a good 7 Teds along the motorway at one stage underneath the bridges. Just outside Blanchardstown, give or take. So that was pretty sad to see. And there's a good few, like there's a few people outside the GPO, like begging for money and stuff like that. That was the local scouts club. I don't know, was it? Because it did seem like they were living there now, because they had the stuff on the trees and stuff like that. And it was the bridge was very. Uh, it wouldn't go there to be the lands. Like it seems like a very dark and damp place. So I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Like, yeah, I don't think it was, because it does seem like somebody was living there. You know what I'm saying? With tons of rubbish just piled up everywhere and stuff like that. It did seem like people were living there, not so much scouts. That makes sense. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but it does seem like there was people lying outside the GPO, etc., begging for money and stuff. When I seen on the bus, I didn't get off the bus now on Connor Street, and then a few people along the quays and stuff like that. So I don't know, but yeah, Dublin's not what it used to be. To be totally honest, it's not what it used to be. So it's sad to say that, but it's the truth. Oh, hello, hello. How are you doing? Sorry, I'm too busy chatting. Hello, how are you doing? Welcome. You're from Jersey City. Hope all is well over New York in Jersey City, in New Jersey. So I don't know, but that's the only Ted I seen. We wouldn't around the Grand Canal of the International Protection Office. Like, I didn't really go anywhere. Just to say, we haven't even got to the conference yet. So, but yeah, so I wasn't many places. I didn't go up to Tepa. I didn't go really anywhere. I stayed around the hotel I was in. I went down a bit towards the funnels. I don't know what you would call them, but I went to a few places there to get stuff to eat. I didn't go up O'Connor Street that direction. To be totally honest, the last time I was in Dublin City Centre, before I went to Finland last summer, it's far too dangerous for a person on his own to go anywhere in Dublin, to be totally honest. So I didn't take the risk in going anywhere, apart from locally where I was near the hotel. So that was the only reason why. So I didn't really go anywhere else, unfortunately. Even though I would have liked to go to other places. But it's far too dangerous, especially on your own, because as I say, years ago you could walk the streets of Dublin and stuff like that. But unfortunately, there's gangs and they beat you up and stuff like that. Because there wouldn't be just 1-on-1, there'd be 6-on-7, like 6-on-1 or 7-on-1, because there's huge gangs. And that's what happened, with people in Dublin at the moment, that they can't really fight back because there's too many people around. And unfortunately, that was the sad reality, because I could have went and done many things. There's things I would like to do in Dublin and stuff like that, but it's too dangerous. And it was too risky, to be totally honest. But yeah, so I got to the hotel. The hotel was nice, but the only thing I criticized about the hotel. Hello, how are you doing? Good to see you. But I hope you're well this evening. And thank you for the comments the last few days too. I can never pronounce your name, but thank you so much for the comments last week and the support. But yeah, so I went to the hotel. The weirdest thing about the hotel, you have to check in on the computer kind of thing, which I don't like. To be honest, I rather just go in, hand the money or whatever it is. You shouldn't have to go and put your name into the computer and stuff like that. Like, I had to do that and stuff like that. So the price of the hotel for 3 nights in Dublin, I know people are probably saying this, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad for 3. And it was a 4-star hotel. It wasn't too bad, especially with this big conference on. It wasn't that bad. It was about €899, something like that, around that. So €900. No, it wasn't it was kind of like self-service. Like, the postman was there showing me what to do. So, but they didn't even, like, there wasn't an option for you to do what I did in Finland. Take for example, when I went into the hotel, you just signed whatever there. Yeah, there wasn't that option. They made me do the computer, unfortunately. So yeah, talk to anybody at all. Yeah. Oh no, I rather just to talk to them and stuff like that. Like, to talk to them. But I didn't like to do the computer part, to be totally honest. I wasn't too happy. I'm not that tech savvy. I rather do the thing in person instead of doing it on the machine and stuff like that. But there was no option. Like, it didn't get an option to it. So yeah, it was about €890. So €890, nearly €900, pretty much what I'm trying to say. Which I don't know, what do you think for 3 days? Because it was 3 days. Remember, I went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I went home Friday morning. So what do we think about that? So basically, you could say, for argument's sake, you could say it's €1,000 pretty much, because I bought a few things in the hotel, like food and stuff like that. The breakfast included and stuff like that. But I bought drinks for myself and stuff like that, the hotel and different things. So for argument's sake, we'd say €1,000, right? Because it was €890. And then for argument's sake, I bought drinks and I had a meal. I got a meal in the hotel bar. It was 33 something. For a few sausages, chips, and a few things, and I got that 3 days in the 3 days in a row. So yeah, about that, yes, yeah, about that. But it was a 4-star hotel, you remember, and this conference was on too. Uh, so there was a lot of people who were at the hotel because they were going to the conference, and they were able to put the prices up because of the conference. Uh, but yeah, I was happy enough with it because I was quoted. I would say this before we even, but I was quoted from a few hotels in Dublin city centre. I was quoted. One hotel was quoted €3,000, €3,000 for 3 nights, and that was a big luxury hotel, just a bit up from the convention centre, like on the way down from the customs house. My hotel was past the convention centre, but on the way to the convention centre, there's a hotel that were looking for €3,000. Yes, that was what I was quoted, but I didn't pay that, obviously, because that would have been fucking ludicrous. Um, yeah, like again with this conference doing the demand because that's why. But that's for one hotel. And then the other hotel is quoted €1,500. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, um, I did well because the other hotels were all over €1,000. For a basic room, I got a double. Like, they didn't give me like even if I didn't get a double bed, and I had this book since October and paid for since October gone by. Like it wasn't just last minute, so I had to get. So they give me a double bed. Like they give me 2 beds in the one room, even though I was only one person. They give me 2 beds in the one room. Unfortunately, I was looking forward to a double bed, but I didn't get that. Unfortunately, yeah, that's €3,000 they were looking for. But that's a very lardy job. It's a 5-star hotel, very lardy job. Like quite literally very lardy job. Um, so yeah, but still €3,000. Celebrity in my area here. I suppose you would call me a celebrity a bit. I don't mean to brag on it, but a lot of people probably would. Be well known. I wouldn't say celebrity, but well known. I suppose is that the way to describe it. I'm not saying I'm the most well known. There's better, more knows the people here. There's Anna. But yeah, so I think I've done well. Do you not think I've done well? Because everything else would have been €1,000, just to say. Or a bit more, as I say, 1,500 for example, that hotel. There's another hotel, 1,500, which, I suppose €890, and I suppose you could say 1,000 because I bought stuff and stuff. So about €1,000 they made of me, I suppose, the hotel. It's got me meals and stuff like that. Didn't he? Had his hopes too high. No, I didn't do that. But no, we get to that, I suppose, in the second too, in terms of not in terms of the fun. No, we're not going there, But yeah, so that was that. So I don't know. So you think it was bad enough, the money? Like I don't think it was that bad for Dublin city centre. Yeah, compared to 3,000, yeah, it's not €1,000 save. You're saving €2,000, pretty much, and that like it was insane because I didn't really care about the hotel. It was just that it was near enough hand. I didn't want to go halfway around the city. Uh, so that was the thing. But it's not the worst. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Imagine if I told you now, Brian, I had to pay the €3,000 for the hotel. And you have to remember these 2 days I was there. Like the first day I was there, I checked in at 3 o'clock in the middle of the day. So the first day I didn't get much use of the hotel because it was half the day getting up to Dublin and stuff like that. And then the second day I was like from the conference started at 8:45. I was there at 8 o'clock on that Wednesday morning. And we wouldn't get out to about 5:30, half 6, 6 o'clock. That's the time we were getting out of the conference, the fourth stage on that Wednesday. So pretty much it was not there half of the day in the hotel room. And the same with the second day. I only went for an hour or two the second day. I didn't stay the whole day because it was far too long. And it would have been to 5:30 or so, 6 o'clock. And it would have been far too long. So half of the time, so pretty much you could say, for argument's sake. And then I went down and had a meal in another pub down the road. For argument's sake, about 90% of the time, we're not 90, we go a bit lower, 80% of the time, I wasn't even in the hotel room. So think about that. Just think there for a second. You're not even there 80% of the time. So why would you pay €3,000 for not being there 80%? The food was good, yeah, it was worth the €33. It was cheap enough to the dinners and stuff like that. I had it 3 times. It was good. It was good food. The chicken nuggets were good and stuff. I had chicken nuggets and stuff. They were very nice. I had an Irish breakfast that in the breakfast was included too, just to say it wasn't separate. I'm talking about the only meals throughout the day and stuff like that. What did you have for like many things? I had an Irish breakfast majority of the mornings. I was there and stuff. Hello, Conway. How are you doing? I hope I'm saying that. I hope you're well. Hope I'm saying that. No, yeah, chicken nuggets and chips. Had a few other things, many other things. Like there was different things there. But mainly in the morning, I had an Irish breakfast. It was different, like for dinner and stuff like that. I had different things. It was pretty much whatever I seen that was nice. But yeah. So that was that. So, but I generally think it was not that bad. You spent, yeah. Like I will get into how much the conference cost and all that. Like you probably will cry at the end when I say because you could say the hotel and all it was about €1,000, give or take, for argument's sake. You could say we could say probably 950, maybe give or take. But yeah, so that's not even getting into the conference. Imagine we're here half now, and we're getting into the conference bit now. But yeah, so we went to the conference the first day. I was very nervous about it, to be totally honest. I said about it last week. I was very nervous about going to it because the reasons why not many only Joes who are YouTubers, young people particularly too, would be going to this conference because it is a business conference and political conference. So that means that the CEOs and stuff like that there, and not only Joes, that work on the local authority, take example. There's not many of that there. Let's put it that way. I'm pretty much as outcast you could get there to pretty much say. Like I pretty much stood out like a sore thumb. So that was that. So yeah, that morning was very bitter. It was cold that Wednesday morning. I was down at 8 o'clock, as I say. So yeah. So but yeah, we went in. I went in. I got my tag. I'll show you these things. And I got my tag and stuff like that. So you can see the QR code. You can see my seat and stuff like that. Level 3 door 50F and stuff like that. So yeah, I was upgraded too. Now we're not upgraded. I paid for the second class ticket. So I was moved up a bit. Now I don't know who said to move me up and stuff like that because there was something said somewhere. I don't know who said something somewhere, but there was something said because my seat was supposed to be. Where was the convention? So can I get pictures of it? So I don't know who said. Somebody said something somewhere because something was said to move me up because I don't know why it was because it wasn't. I had a different seat compared to what I thought I would have. Basically, what I'm trying to say. I know that sounds a bit stupid, but yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It wasn't for only Joe's, pretty much. Like the price, I tell you the price at the end of the conference. But pretty much, I was up. Like I didn't like I was in second class seats anyway. But it was moved up a bit, so I don't know where the word came from. Because there was a big hullabaloo when I said who I was and etc. etc. So I don't know who said something. There was something said somewhere from somewhere that I should be moved up a seat. Like moved up a seat. Because pretty much I was moved up 6 or 7 seats. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is I was only about 6 seats away from the front, pretty much. Like basically as close as you could get pretty much to the stage. Even though I'll show you now, I explain now in a second. It makes sense now in a second when I show you. Hello, Trends. How are you doing? So this is here where I sat. So it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About, for argument's sake, I think it was here. Yeah, that was my seat exactly there. You can see the cursor there. That was my seat there in the convention centre. So obviously these were for the people who had third class tickets, like up the very, very back. So I was supposed to be somewhere here, like there. So I came in this door. This was my seat here. So only a few seats away. The first class people were here. So pretty much I was here. And the first class, like, was literally the first row, then a first class, etc., etc. But I was supposed to be sitting about there, or somewhere here. These are the 2 seats. But I was up, like it was second class seats anyway. So I don't know why it was moved, because there was some word put in somewhere. To be totally honest, like there was something said somewhere. I can't particularly know who said something somewhere. But the only thing I do know, and this is kind of going after it, like you've probably seen from the pictures. I only found this out afterwards that there was nobody in 3 seats in front of me. There was nobody there was people sitting beside me, but there was nobody sitting in front of me for the last 3 seats. So pretty much, I had an undisturbed view of the stage, pretty much more than anybody else that was sitting there. So it's very convenient to what was going on, to be totally honest. So there was a word put in somewhere. That's all I say. There was some word put in somewhere. Don't know where it came from, but there was definitely something put somewhere. Because even the person said behind me, because he had somebody, like not the person sitting behind, but the person sitting on the other side, like on my row, at the end of my row, there was somebody sitting there, and he had people in front of him, like he was looking into somebody's head, pretty much. What I'm trying to say. And I had nobody, like literally nobody, the 2 sides of me. So in front of me there was nobody. The other side of me there was nobody, like on the other row. For the 3 rows, it wasn't to the very top rows there was somebody there. So there was definitely some word put in somewhere for me to be able to see the stage great. So I don't know who put that word in, but there was definitely something. It was something because the woman who was checking me in to give me this went off and was talking to somebody else. So obviously there was something said somewhere, because more or less she went to ask somebody else, and they said he was supposed to be moved up a bit. So I don't know what that means by moved up a bit. Supposed to be moved up a bit, but yeah. So I got the tag and stuff like that, and it got me banned and stuff like that. Because silver is the second one. Yeah, pretty much I was sitting in the VIP section because there was the people beside me, and this was supposed getting into the people beside me were stock brokers, the stock market in New York, because I was talking to them and stuff like that, even though I know nothing about it. Like the man beside me was probably a millionaire, trillionaire, for all I know. But he was telling me about the stock market. He's from America. He's from the United States of America. And he was telling me about he was trading in this stock. Stuff like that. So I was like, I'm out of my league here. And then the other person behind me owns a big firm, a big tech, big firm, a big kind of app kind of thing. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, multi-millionaire again, like another multi-millionaire, like the second class tickets and stuff like that, like no only Joe, like quite literally. And then there was somebody behind me, was the CEO of some big company in England, like a big CEO. And they were saying to me, but how do I know about that? Because they were saying to me about him, and he was very well known and stuff like he's big tech, like big CEO of some company, multi-trillion company, multi-trillion euro company. Like pretty much I was in with all the CEOs, etc., etc. And then obviously the people in the front, like I got a second class ticket. The people just in front of me, the first few rows after, not just in front of me, but down a bit, were huge knobs, like Irish politicians. There were some members of the Oireachtas there, senators. I've seen some senators. I can't think of their names, but I've seen them on the telly. I know who they are. There's other people there too. Like there's hundreds of other people. I think Dennis O'Brien was there. I remember seeing Dennis O'Brien. There was person who owns all the things. Dennis O'Brien was there. Other people were there. I can't even remember. There's loads of Irish politicians I've seen before in the past and stuff like that. Former Irish politicians, members of the Oireachtas, there was there. Right, just literally right in front of me and stuff like that. Different ambassadors too, of course. Just actually when you're speaking about those ambassadors there, like pretty much the highest of the highest classes of Irish society was there. So I wasn't networking. That's what they were doing. They were networking. They were talking about investing. Like there was one person behind me. Like there was people behind me. There was some woman talking about investing in this person's business, and they were talking about, my grandfather would invest €2 million in this fellow's business. Like this is what was going on around me. Like this generally was what was being talked about around me. That we're going to invest 2 million into this, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like this is what was going. Like generally, this was what I was hearing around me. And I didn't know, because the people beside me, like the multi-millionaires, like they generally have money. Like they have hundreds of millions a year. Like they are very rich, but like the shoes and stuff like that, you can tell that literally for the shoes alone, just to say, it must have been a few thousand for the shoes. Like they were very, very wealthy people. Like generally, I hate to say, but they were very, very wealthy. Like they were extremely well. Even the watches and stuff like hundreds of thousands a year, like money that we would never see in our lives. That they were there. Like it's quite insane. And I was in the middle of it. And saying who it was and stuff, a YouTuber and stuff like that, and stuff like that. So it's funny, but yeah. So the poll, like just to say, well, this is going into everything else, but yeah, the news straight away. Like there was somebody there that I was talking to the platform before I went to the thing, and I was talking to before I went to my seats and stuff on the first day. But yeah, no, they a lot of them knew. A lot of them knew who I was, etc. So the staff, in terms of the staff, they knew who I was. So I think that had a role to play in that as a YouTube, like a YouTuber. They probably thought I was going to live stream it or something like that. Because I didn't really say. The only thing I said, the person when they said they were going to upgrade me and stuff like that, she was kind of smiling, saying, "Is there any particular reason you came here today?" and stuff like that, just to put down. And she was like, "Oh, it's hardly some woman." That's what she described as some woman. Excuse me, but it was hardly some woman you came to see. Like the way she said, like she knew and they knew why I came, why I was there. I didn't go for business or anything like that. That was no why I was there. It did like she wasn't saying the God, it was more smiling about it. So whoever she would talk to, because there was some man she talked to. I don't know who the man was, but he obviously had something to do with the platinum effect. But she talked to him because when she seen my name and stuff like that, and whatever it was, because I had a thing on my phone to show. She went off and talked to a man, and he said he was upgraded or something like that. Because I could vaguely hear what he was saying, but there was a lot of talking and stuff like going on around. But that was what was said. So they obviously knew why I was there. So for my expertise, the reason why I was put in that seat is because first of all, I was a YouTuber and stuff like that, and not to mention, um, it'd be a good thing. But yeah, that's what I think they were doing. Or something was said somewhere. Like I don't know what was said. I have to figure it out who said what and all that. Because there was definitely something said. Because I was supposed to be down, as I showed you there, a bit further down. But so yeah, no, it was quite insane. But no, it was quite insane for me. Like a certain woman, excuse me, a certain woman. I did find that funny. But a lot of them knew, and I was talking to the fellow who I met. It wasn't the same fellow. His name is John. I was talking to before the conference and stuff like that. He was saying about how going and stuff like that, and how much the tickets would be. I was just talking to sussing it out to see what was going to happen, etc., etc. So I was talking to him. I was talking to him there, and he knew about it, of course, too. So they all knew because he probably told them. But pretty much he said it to me too. Speaking to John there, I'm not saying his second name, but John, he knew himself. He was like, "Yeah, you're here because of Santa. Like that's the only reason why you came." And I said, yes. So pretty much what he said to me next is that I'm the only person who would come because the rest of them are all business people. They're coming to make money. Like they're doing business deals. Like people are doing deals. When I was sitting there all the time, people were doing deals, making business deals, shaking hands on different businesses. You're buying different things, buying property, buying stocks, buying this, buying that. Like that was what's happening around me. And I was in the middle of it, just to say, I was in the middle of all this, just to say. That was what was happening. So what he basically said, I was the only reason I came more than anybody else because the rest of them were all there for making money pretty much and making contacts and stuff like that, or trying to shill for jobs and stuff like that. Like I done none of that. I was only there for one woman, like for one woman. I know that sounds a bit dangerous, but yeah, I was only there for one woman, and I think everybody knew that. Like, I think it was very well known that I was only there for one woman. Um, to put it nicely, like because they knew the people who organised, they knew why I was there. Um, yeah, of course. Like that's what he pretty much said. Like, it was there for that, and there's not many people who would willingly pay thousand euro, more of €1,000 to go to this event, uh, just to listen to one woman, I suppose. Let's put it that way. Because the rest of them all knew each other and stuff. They knew each other from other conferences because this conference happens every year. There's some people that knew each other, that talked to each other all the time, probably, and they knew each other's names, and they were kind of all looking at me like, who's this fellow? Where did he come from? Especially because you have to remember the majority of people who were there were about in their 30s, 40s. Nobody in their 20s, nobody younger than the 20s. So I was the youngest there, nearly, to be totally honest. There was nobody else that younger there. So today, yeah, but this is a business conference. I wouldn't mind Taylor Swift. If you were going to Taylor Swift now in the morning, Brian, it's a music concert. You would expect young people. You would expect music and stuff like that. You would expect that. If that makes any sense. Not so much a business conference. Because everybody around you, they remember, it's multi-millionaires and in the stock market and all this. People that you would hear about, Dennis O'Brien, etc., etc. You know, like just taking it, like it is very funny just sitting down and taking about it, sitting down and taking about it. I'm very out of my league here. Like that's what I was saying and talking to these people out of my league. And it was funny to hear them saying, "Oh, I'm a YouTuber and stuff like that." And fire metal this and stuff like that. It was quite funny. Like that's how I like. I didn't get any numbers or anything. Like pretty much, I just kind of said I was laughing to myself. Like I had a good laugh at all. Like talking to these people who are big stock. Like he pretty much told me he invests a lot in the stock market. This fellow from America was on the other side. Made a huge amount of money in the stock market. He said. He was telling me about different stocks, even though didn't have a fucking clue, to be totally honest, what he was saying about which stock he was investing in. But one thing he did say was interesting. The other fellow said it too, but the other fellow was not as big as the fellow that was sitting beside me. But he said Donald Trump was going to make a lot of money for the whole lot of us. Like that's what he more or less said. And he said that somebody else, like I heard it many times, just to say with these people, and these are the highest of Irish society, billionaires, trillionaires, like people who property tycoons, insane. Like the money, the amount of money, like just to think about, the amount of people around me is astronomical. It could be 3 or 4 billion euro just in that room worth of people. Who it's insane. Like it's generally insane when you sit there and you really think about it, because no ordinary Joe was going to it. Pretty much what I'm trying to say. Just to tell you straight, no ordinary Joe will go to it. But it's ludicrous. No, but just sitting there and being out of your league and stuff like that. Because you have to remember, I've just cleaned the streets. So that's just. I didn't say that because I would be laughed out of the place. But yeah, you know, I was a YouTuber too and stuff like that. You know, it's insane. But yeah, nobody. I don't think any ordinary Joe would ever go to it and stuff like that. You know. But no, it was interesting. I made no contacts and stuff. I seen people with CVs and stuff like that, but obviously they have big jobs in tech platforms. Like there was some from Facebook and Twitter there, like employees and stuff like that. And there was obviously other people shilling. There were in other companies and they want to get a bigger job and all that. Those people shilling for jobs and stuff like that. I did none of that, so I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Not taking about the money and stuff like that. Because people there, some of the people that have big jobs already, and they're trying to shill for jobs with CEOs and stuff like that. There was some people doing that. Because one person asked me who I was and stuff like that with a kind of a CV, I suppose, telling them what they have, the qualifications and stuff like that. That was happening somewhere. Not everybody was doing that, but some people were doing that. Like looking for bigger jobs and stuff. You know, came down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But nobody see these people here, these CEOs and stuff. They're not going to listen to a long poppy story. They just want to see, yes, you have a qualification in this, that, you know. But yeah, so that's what happened there. Like, there's a lot to be said about it. But yeah, no, I didn't talk to many people. I talked to a few people. There's a few people there from Dublin City Council, like from the higher ups in Dublin City Council. I talked to a few of them. Just because I wanted to listen to what they had to say, but not so much many of them. I talked to the people beside me a bit, but there was a lot of people there, and there was people there from other tech platforms, huge tech platforms, huge multinational companies. There's some people there from vulture funds and stuff like that, like big developers, like huge developers. Like it's insane, like just insane. Some of them, like just looking at them. Insane stuff. Like the devil's walk too, I suppose, in that way. But there was probably people there from the World Economic Forum and the Bilderberg Group, etc., etc. Now I didn't see them. I didn't want to see them. They probably knew enough me. But there definitely was people there from that. One person was talking about Davos. It was interesting. I was going to show up, but I probably been arrested if I said something. But there was one person said about we're going to Davos soon. And I was like to myself, of course, of course, this is what they're talking about. Because I just happened to hear them. Like this was a bit down like, at the front, where those people like the very, very top. They were saying about the World Economic Forum coming up pretty much in Davos. It was like that's definitely somebody from the World Economic Forum. That's pretty much guaranteed. But I didn't go near them with a 10-foot pole, and I didn't intend to go near them for the 10-foot pole. And I would have. I thought about saying something to them, but I would have been just arrested straight away. Like you wouldn't allowed to say anything. Probably to them. But all of them there agree with everything with whatever the World Economic Forum says. They agree with it. I'm the only one who'll be distant to it. That will question different things. So that's why I didn't bother arguing, because everybody would be against you. You wouldn't get anyway, because everybody in the room would be against you in terms of what you would say and stuff like that. But I did well. I said I didn't really say I talked to people. I did talk to people. But yeah. But yeah, no, it was interesting that. But yeah, I've got my seat. It got upgraded and stuff like that. Well, not upgraded, but yeah. But even the people at the end of my seat said it too. That they were looking into somebody, even though they had hundreds of millions a year, they were looking into the back of somebody's head, in terms of the person saying that. Like I had, if you look at my photos I put up, like literally nobody for 4 seats down. So pretty much I had an understuck more than anybody else. Few off the stage. Pretty much 100%. So I don't know what was done or what was said somewhere, but something was decided somewhere that I get very good on the stuff here. Unfortunately, again, the lighting and stuff when they were doing it, the views and stuff like that, for cameras and stuff wasn't great in terms of taking photos. Just the lighting and stuff wasn't great, like in terms of that. But yeah, so yeah, the first person, I don't know if anybody else. I played a politician, maybe. Like there was politicians there. I didn't see Simon Coveney in the thing. Like it's sitting down, but I seen him outside of it, and I seen Boris Johnson. I'd seen Boris Johnson, seen the former British Prime Minister. I didn't go near him because he'd be trying to sell me a book. But I happened just to see him. The only reason why I seen him because his hair is literally fucking everywhere, and he's fucking everything's hanging off him. like literally, like he has. Like, I was all done up to the last going to this. I wanted to look some way presentable. Like his hair was everywhere. That's how I knew. But I didn't go near Boris. But there's too many people around him talking to. Obviously, the former British Prime Minister. People would want to be talking to him and stuff like that. And obviously talking about buying his book. Like I seen people with his book. So some of them must have got his book. So he was there, and there was other people. There was other things there. But I did get talking to one person, like you probably would often have. But we say that at the end. We're not talking, but I shook his hand. I suppose on the way out, I suppose. So this was the first person up. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but really inspirational person. So obviously he has no legs, no arms. He has only a few fingers. He is really inspirational to him. I have to say, I heard of this man before. He's really, really lucky. Like not many people would. This I don't know how the exact cause of his thing, but it's insane because again, as he said, not many people who have his thing survive childhood. Like he only had about a 50% chance, 50% chance of living, and he's there, and he walked across the whole world too. He walked hundreds of thousands. Well, not walk, but pulled himself because he has to pull himself with his arm. So it's incredible to see that he's able to do this. That he's able to walk around, and he seems to be very happy. And I couldn't understand. Like I often said it before about people in wheelchairs and stuff like that. Like they are very happy people, even though they don't have legs and the disadvantage and stuff with no legs, with no arms. They all seem to be more happier than people with arms and legs, etc., etc. Like it is incredible to see. Like it is incredible. He seems to be generally very happy. It doesn't seem to have any effect on him. I don't know how he has the will, because if that was me, I'd be defeated. Like he seems like he's able to, it's incredible to see. It's really, really incredible. I have to say, he's an incredible person. To hear all the stuff he talked about, etc., etc., there, and all the suffering he went through when he was younger, and to see how he's getting on now. It's insane. But yeah, no, it's crazy stuff now. But I suppose the one thing I often said, and I suppose the one thing I did agree with him the most on, he said about like having a gift. Everybody in the audience, even the people just in front of us, see with the hands and stuff. You have a gift. You truly do. And I said this many times. You probably heard me saying it many times before. That you have a gift. He doesn't. He only has some of a gift, as he said. But people there have a gift. They can walk. They can talk. They can move their hands. And I do think when you see people like this too, that I'm blessed, and I will truly say that I have the ability to move my hands. They have a full hand. They have a leg. They have an arm. They have a voice, etc., etc. They can smell. They can hear. But there's so many, and I don't think we appreciate it. I don't think when we sit down at night or go to bed at night that we appreciate that there's people in the world who haven't got what we have. Who are not blessed to have an arm, have a leg, and it's a thing that we don't realize as people, that there is people out there that don't have this speeches, um, and I truly do agree with them because I've said that many times before that we are blessed to be able to walk, to be able to talk, even though things will break us, knock us down. Uh, there's people that are a lot worse in the world, I suppose, in terms of that. But I wish him all the best. He was a great speaker. He spoke for about 40 minutes. Um, really, really chill person. Really have to say, really chill person, and it's incredible to see how happy he is. Like he is, how happy, and that it doesn't have any effect on him and stuff like that. It's incredible. Generally, it's incredible. It's the amazing thing, I suppose, was a great, uh, great life lessons, I suppose, too. He said about, yes. So, you shook his hand. No, I didn't shake his hand. I go to there was the very last person. Didn't shake his hand, but no. I don't know if anybody ever hear of this post before. That's his name there. You can look him up. He's really a good inspiration, but it's crazy to see. No, they're not. This post not from Finland. He's from the United States of America. I can't think whereabouts. He said whereabouts in the United States it was. Like I should have recorded probably the whole because there was that much stuff discussed. But there was really touching moment. There was really a touching moment. He said about fear and anxiety, etc., etc. No, I heard of him before. I often seen him. I heard of him because not many people survive his condition through childbirth, etc., etc. Like live to a long age. No, not really. I get to Santa in a few minutes. Like it's a long story with Santa's one. Like Santa's one was more different than everybody else. He was not really shilling anything. He was kind of shilling a book. That well, not. I think it was no. It was a kind of course kind of an audio book. I think it was something like that. Something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but not really. Like he's more motivating people to take risks. To how to be motivated, I suppose, in business and stuff like that, pretty much. But yeah, no, this old man here, so as you can see, he's no arm and stuff. So this old man, so the conversation how it started, yeah, like this is like exactly what I said. Like this man was saying about his struggles and stuff in life, and how he copes. So this was just an only member of the audience. So he did very well, and I have to say. I don't want to go into his post and the thing, but there will be probably a video out and like showing the whole lot of it. Life coach, yeah. No, but he is a good poet. I have to say, if you ever get a chance to listen to him, I think that'd be good. So this was the person too, like who was presenting it. She's a former Royal Air Force pilot. Now, an interesting thing to say too, like a former Royal Air Force pilot. Like presenting it. You probably often heard of Mandy Hitchcock. She was one of the first female Royal Air Force pilots. She's motivated for speech or ambassador and stuff. So she was announcing people, etc., etc. In terms of that. Yeah, no, we'll try and get there. I know there's hundreds of things at top, but we're only on the first few acts. So there's a long way to go. But I can answer any questions at the end, I suppose, because there's a lot of things I could say. There's probably things that we'll forget to say. But yeah, she was there too. So she was one of the first OAF pilots. So obviously then we have Sana. Sana was the next speaker, the second speaker and stuff like that. So it's a lot more. Sana Marin was a lot more casual. It's more about politics, about her role as prime minister, etc., etc. And obviously the best speaker by far. Nobody can argue with that. But it was a lot different than the Western, because the Western are not politicians or former prime ministers. They were self-made people, etc., etc. Weren't politicians. So there's hundreds of million things I could say about Santa's one. So it was very funny. The first thing was said, and obviously too, she obviously to come out to the stage with a big rock music, etc., etc. Of course she had. But it was quite remarkable. Like I go to this now and that, but it was quite to be there. It didn't feel weird, and it doesn't still feel weird. Like I sat there last night thinking about it and stuff like that. It doesn't feel real. It generally doesn't feel real. After seeing hundreds of times her speeches on social media, on YouTube, etc., etc. It doesn't feel real that you actually are there, and less than you know 6 or 7 seats away from the stage. Quite literally less than 500 meters away from her, pretty much. Uh, it's insane to think of. It generally is really insane when you really sit down and think about it. It's generally quite insane. Like even when I was there, it didn't feel weird. It seemed like some kind of dream, or it didn't feel like reality. To be totally honest, like reality kind of didn't feel like reality. It didn't. It's insane. It was not so much the celebrities. It didn't feel real, like seeing her on social media all the time, and knowing a lot about the person and stuff. But seeing her in person, in the flesh and blood and stuff like that, like literally less than 500 meters away from him, it just didn't feel real. Like it just generally didn't, and especially I could see her more than other people because other people had people stuck to the back of the head. Like I had an unobstructed view, and every movement she did, etc., etc., like insane to really think about it. Like definitely that was set up for a purpose. Like it was generally set up for a purpose that like just that I had no obstructions of seeing or anything like that. Insane, really insane. Now I did take some videos, not too many videos of, but I was more, and I have to say this straight, and I know it sounds a bit stupid, but I was more like more than videos were allowed to video and stuff and take photos. I took some photos, but I was too engrossed. Well, not engrossed, but attached, I suppose, is the word to say. Like with every word she said, like basically, I was more listening. I was videoing and stuff like that. Uh, Big zoom camera. But even though the lighting wasn't that great anyway, because the people beside me, they had bigger phones and stuff like that, and more fancier phones. But the lighting on the stage didn't really suit your only cameras. You would have to have a really specially made camera, like your thing. But it was quite insane. Like generally quite insane. It's a quite insane moment. To be totally honest, I still can't really get over it. To be totally honest, but yeah, I know it's insane thing to say. But yeah, no, the most insane thing was when they were talking about it, etc. When talking about before she came out, I could see her behind the back of the stage, in the Tumstat. I could see her there. And straight away, I knew who was and stuff. I was interested because straight away I could make her out from a crowd because there was a good lot of people behind the back of the stage doing different things, sorting out different things, special effects, and all that. So straight away, I knew straight away who she was, pretty much looking at the back of the stage, because where I was sitting, you could see the other side of the curtain, I suppose, that way. So it was quite insane that I was able to make her out of the crowd that was there. But yeah, yeah, I don't know where, like, I could go on and on. Every cove, no, we're not go there. Yeah, no, quite insane. Like she did come out. The funniest thing was about it all, and the biggest laugh I suppose anybody had at the event because everybody was crying about it being freezing outside, etc., etc. And the fun, I even said it on the community post. I don't know if people got what I was saying about the cold weather and stuff like that, and just happened to be the former Finnish Prime Minister turns up when the cold weather comes. Now, when she's gone, the cold weather is gone. It doesn't make any sense that bit, but sure. But it's insane because the fellow who was at the funeral, um, yeah, like I would have said the same thing. That you brought the cold weather with you, like you brought the cold weather, and I suppose the biggest laugh was his whole saying, "It's not cold. It's not cold enough. This is summer. This is literally summer. Minus. It's only about -3." She said, "This is not cold enough. It's not cold enough for me. This is summer. Because in Helsinki at the time it was -20 or something like that. So she was coming from Helsinki, -20 to about -3. So she was like, oh, it's not that cold, because she only had a jump on jacket, I suppose. But that was everybody had a good laugh at that one because like it had to be brought up really that bit. Um, so but yeah, no, she was different compared to the West in terms they were talking more about motivation and they're big business people, and they probably grew up. A lot of them grew up in Wout, and not the Fair of the Force Foul, but um, you get what I'm saying. He grew up in Wout, like Sana Mowen. She didn't talk about much about when she was young and stuff like that. She came from nothing, quite literally, the definition of nothing. Like quite literally, her mother had less than 2 pennies to rub together. She grew up in the hood and tabloid and stuff like that. She didn't say about it, but she generally did. Like so, it's incredible to see such a woman, and only 39 years the woman too, not even 40 years old. Uh, and a lot of these people too were older, older people too who are speaking and stuff like that, who are 50, 40, like late 40s, going into the 50s, 60s in some cases. It's quite incredible to see such a young woman that was the first in the family to go to university, etc., to work 2 jobs, like less than 20 years ago, to make ends meet when she was younger. Working in the cafe, like working in a bakery and working in a shop. And the chick now, used to be the former prime minister of Finland, etc. That she was able to get there, etc. It's quite incredible. But she didn't mention it because Sanna Marin never mentions about herself. She thinks about the issues. The issues matter more than anything else, and it's the truth. And she said it many times. But yeah, so she pretty much started off talking about Ukraine. The fellow was asking the questions from News Talk. I can't think of his name, but he was asking the questions. It's a pity they didn't ask me to ask her the questions. They could have. Why did you not ask me to ask her the questions and stuff like that? But see, this is the thing. This is the funniest thing too. More than anybody else, I knew all the answers quite literally to Sandra Mellon what she was saying because I've heard her many, many times saying this. Not many people there would have heard everything she said in her life. But I knew everything quite literally that she was saying. Nearly, I knew what she was talking about, what she was referencing when she was referencing this. I knew everything quite literally. I knew everything what she was saying in terms of that. And I can kind of tell by looking at her too when she's a bit uncomfortable. I suppose you can see it in her eyes, but she twitches a bit in her eyes too, and she's a bit we're not uncomfortable. She's not really uncomfortable, but when something she just think about things, I suppose, in the back of her head. But yeah, no, but she first talked about NATO, and she talked about the process of Finland joining NATO, etc., her thinking behind it, etc. She talked about Russia, etc. Talked about all North Korea, etc. Why is no heads? Iran, etc. Why is no heads? Being very aggressive, etc. And I agree with her, of course, and all that. But it is interesting because she went further, I suppose, in terms of NATO when she was particularly was asking about her joining NATO, like not her joining NATO, but Finland joining NATO, and she described what she was thinking, and she's probably described it more. And I think this is insane, really, when you think about it, really, too, because I've heard her literally hundreds of times talking about joining NATO, etc. Her thoughts behind it, but she kind of expanded more than she did before on why Finland joined NATO, why did she decide to do it, etc. So it's quite insane, really, to hear that, because she made very, very good points. And even though I won't be the most pro-NATO person imaginable, like she did make good points in what she was saying. So a lot of people did think that she just wanted to just join on the film. There was a lot of thinking, like hearing what she said. There was a lot of thinking in her head about what when that came to be. Because she said about how Putin said before, and I suppose this is true too. There's not many other leaders ever kind of said it. How Putin said it's only training when it comes to Ukraine that time, and it kind of gave me thought to reflect, I suppose, too, on a few things too, because she's kind of right in saying that she couldn't really trust Putin, and I do agree with her because she did make good examples, not just that alone too. Like it's only training; they're only training the Russian army; they're not going to invade. And then she said, we had to kind of join NATO. Because we couldn't trust Russia not to keep their word. And I suppose that's it. I suppose after being in Finland too, I suppose that's the thing. They don't trust the Russians. I suppose that they couldn't trust them because it was said too, and she did say too about when Finland gained independence back 100 and something years ago now. How Lenin at the time, the leader before Stalin accepted it, before the Soviet Union during the Civil War in Russia, how Lenin said, we have no issues with Finland's borders. When Finland declared independence and the Tsardom collapsed, how Lenin said they had no issues and stuff. And then obviously Stalin what the Karelia of Finland back in the 1939, just after the Second World War too, and the Winter War, etc., etc. So I suppose you can see, I could see it before, but just hearing her saying it in person too, it really puts a lot of context. And I don't think people listen to the context when they say about NATO expansion, etc. So even though I'm not the biggest fan of NATO, but just hearing her saying, you can kind of see why the Finnish people decided. And you can kind of see what made her mind up too. Because I suppose what the Russian government, etc., from the Tsardom to the Soviet Union, etc., to the Russian Federation today, they've never been that honest with Finland, I suppose. And in terms of not that trust is not there. And I suppose I wouldn't really blame them. It's the same with Ireland and England, really, pretty much. It's history, a huge amount of history. They can't really be buried and forgotten about. But it's interesting to hear. Like I've often heard hundreds of times to say on social media here talking about it, but just hearing in person, it's a different perspective. I don't know. I kind of woke up a bit of my brain to it. But that's what she talked about. She talked about NATO and why they joined NATO and etc. etc. And then the threats facing the Western world, and there's threats the one thing I do my Osana Mound for too, more than any of the world leaders, because I think the Irish leaders too are a bit asleep here in terms of it, is China, and she emphasised that a good bit. That China, and particularly, and again, I have to say for Sana Marin, more than any Irish politician, I do think we were half asleep for the Irish politicians in terms of this. But as she said about new technologies, there's new technologies in the world now. There's going to be new technologies in the next 10 years that's going to be revolutionary. And particularly microchips, etc., etc. China is the majority. We basically have sold, and I think the way she described it, we sold our production, our capabilities, etc., etc., to the European Union as the West, democratic West. We have sold that to China. And it is true. We have sold it to China because we wanted to do it on the cheap. And she directly said that. And I agree with her 100%. That's what I've been saying for hundreds of years, that we have done that. Like, we have basically empowered China, and we'll give China a huge amount of money and stuff like that, to be a threat, etc., to the rest of the world. And I suppose we won't take China's, and especially as she said too, and she's right, because I never heard any Irish politician saying about it, that China has such a leverage of the next years of technology, the next 20 years of technology. And she's so right in that. Like, China has the leverage. China could be the end of us all in terms of technologies, holding back technologies, etc., etc. And she's very right in that. Like, she's very right in that. We have to regulate, and we have to make sure that we don't have too much cooperation with China in terms of that. Like, she's 100% right in that. Sandbody. It was just, it wasn't anything bad. Like, the media kind of ran away with it pretty much. Like, she did nothing wrong, pretty much, to be totally honest. Like, more than anybody else, she did nothing wrong in terms of the videos and stuff like that time. She done nothing wrong. Just her with her friends partying. Compared to the current Finnish government, it doesn't hold any water. But it's interesting to hear, like, her say that and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to take you, like, there's so many things that could bring up, because she did talk for about 25 minutes or so. Like, it's generally quite, like, she talked about her time when she was prime minister of Finland, etc., and she said about the former leader of the Social Democrats. I knew about this already, but not many people would have knew that the former leader, she was the first deputy leader ever of the Social Democrats in its history. The leader, I can't think of his, Anthony Wayne, I think it was something like that. was the leader of the Social Democrats before he got sick. He nearly died when he was the Prime Minister. He was in intensive care. He went into a coma, etc., etc. Before Sana became Prime Minister. So she was saying about that time how difficult that was. That time, they didn't know was the leader of the Social Democrats going to survive, etc., etc. And obviously, then too was the election. This is before she was elected Prime Minister, etc., etc. This is back 2015, 2016, sometime around then. And it was interesting for many reasons. Because she never said about it before, to be told. This is the first time I've ever heard her mention it in an interview, that the former Social Democratic leader, when she was the deputy leader, because she was the first deputy of the Social Democrats, because they didn't think he was going to make it. And I knew that before, because that's what was said. So if he died, she would take over straight away. But yeah, it's crazy to think too, because the first time she ever said about it, like talked about it, I suppose, publicly, to my knowledge, because I never heard her ever say in an interview before. So I don't know why she said it. I don't know why she said it and why she brought it up. Don't know why, but yeah, she talked a good bit, and I suppose this is more, and it is surprising too, because she kind of talked more about herself for a bit, more than she would usually, and I don't know why that was. That was quite insane for me, because usually she's focused. She's very focused on the issues, not more the person behind the issues. So I don't know why she did that. Oh wait, no, but you get what I'm saying. Like going back to that, you could see, and I suppose it's the way too. As she said, Russia was attacking their neighbor, etc. etc. She said this too. They're not reliable people, I suppose, and it is true they're not reliable people. Yeah, the issues, but no, it's the issues too. Like more than the person, because she said it hundreds of times. It's the issues that matter. We're too busy focusing on the person, and to a certain extent, I do agree with her. Like we're too busy focusing on the person more than like the issues at hand, like the things that we need to be talking about. And she is right in that, because there's not many people in the world, and I do agree with her. I've said that before. They were more focused on who the person is, etc., etc. Are they interested? Are they funny or whatever? More than the issues at hand. And I do think she's 100% right, and I do think she's right in that. That she's more focused on what's happening, the issues, solving the issues, solving the problems, than what's been said about it, I suppose. And I do think that's a good trait Sandra Mound does have. And I do. It's a pity that we don't have somebody like that here, because all the Irish politicians are more worried about spin, etc., etc., spin and stuff, etc., etc. Like she seems to be just generally focus driven on anything that's put in front of her. But it's incredible to see too that she spoke about the time she became prime minister and stuff like that. The fear, and I suppose because as she said, she didn't really want the prime ministership, and it is true. Like she sat on it for a day. Like when she was going to be the prime minister, she sat on it for a day and said, "I'll think about it." She didn't say yes straight away, and you could kind of see it in her eyes, because she kind of twitched a bit, thinking back on it, and there probably was a lot of like looking back on it, because we wouldn't dare, but it probably was a lot for her being very young, being going to be the youngest prime minister in Finland's history. And then obviously too, her child was less than 3 months old. It was a huge thing to take on, I suppose, too. The prime ministership. So you could kind of see it in her eyes that she was taught back, I suppose, to that moment and stuff like that. So it must have been very traumatic for at that stage. But it was interesting why she brought that up. I don't know why she brought it up, but she brought it up because it's insane to think. But she did talk a bit more about herself. But yeah, she talked about all that during COVID and stuff. She did talk about her ministers and government, etc., etc. How they're very dedicated people. So she did talked a lot about it, but she talked for a good bit too. But having a good team around you too, and having a dedicated cabinet, etc., etc., that's dedicated to doing the job at hand. She didn't mention any of them by name, of course, but she said about it, and obviously we know who they are, lie on the sun, etc., etc. The Western probably wouldn't know, but yeah, she said about how dedicated they were and how things functioned. The government functioned very well, even though there was difficulties and stuff like that. She kept going, etc., etc. The same with the cabinet. So yeah, lie on the sun, etc., etc. The other ones too. The other cabinet, I can never think of the one with the blonde hair. Yeah. Oh, well, she talked about an all-women cabinet too, because all of the party leaders, majority, like 12 out of the 19 members of her cabinet, like the inner cabinet, were all women. So 12 out of the 19, there was only a few men. There was all women. And all the leaders of the political party, Lyon has been the leader of the Left Alliance and Santa Mound, the Social Democrats, being the first all cabinet women in history, I suppose, too. So, so that's what she talked about too. So she talked about that and how things function and stuff like that. But she said too that it was a lot of hardship, I suppose, and it would have been a lot of hardship for her too. But yeah, it's hard to remember word for word everything. I recorded a bit. I'll show you now in a while. But yeah, there was that much discussed everywhere, and discussed like in discussions and stuff like that. And there was too much said. And I was obviously too I was too focused on listening, to be totally honest. Like I was 100% listening. Like it's insane how focused I was listening, etc., etc. Listening to literally every word. So she was asked about advice, and I did record this bit thankfully, because I do think it's the most important thing, regardless of whoever else was on the stage or whatever else was said. I do think it's the most important thing ever to be said by a politician on the stage in Ireland. And I couldn't agree more. And I have to say, I'm proud of Santa Mount for saying it. I have recorded that bit, but she was asked, what has she learned when she was Prime Minister, etc., over her career, over her life? I will show you the response in a second. I have recorded, thankfully. Yeah, like she talked about Donald Trump. She did talk about the incoming US president, the regime. And I suppose she was more worried about Greenland. And I can kind of see why, because the Nordic countries, she said it even too, they're very together. Like together, they work with each other very well. Like Sanna Marin said it herself too, that she worked every day, was on the phone to the Prime Minister of Sweden. The two of them joined NATO at the same time, so near enough joined at the same time. But they're very together. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Iceland, they all work together on everything. There's a huge Nordic cooperation, pretty much. And the same with Greenland too. They all get on well with Greenland, so she's not happy. She's not happy with that. As she would, I think the word is, and they were said in the Irish Examiner. I can't pronounce it, and I suppose she's right about Donald Trump in that regard, because, and the Danish Prime Minister said it too, just talking about Greenland, that the only people who have that decision on what happens to Greenland is not the Danish government, not the United States, not any government. It's up to the people of Greenland to decide for themselves who governs them. And it's the truth. Like, it should be, if anything, it shouldn't be they buy it. It should be a referendum. If they do, the United States do, it should be up to the Greenlandic people to decide. But I do think the people of Greenland would rather stay with the people of Denmark more than the United States or come independent, because they couldn't afford to be independent either. Because Denmark gives them 117 billion euro, something like that, a year to keep Greenland on the go. So it's a huge economic thing too. But I suppose one of the things she said, more the kind of said about it, and this is from the Irish Times, the Irish Limes, seeing the rising, because over rising up just on your thing that was saying, she said too about China, when she was speaking about China too, that Xi Jinping said Taiwan will be a part of China. And then she said about Donald Trump wanting Canada and wanting the Gulf of Mexico, wanting Greenland and all that, wanting the Panama Canal. And I suppose she's right. Like whatever, but the only thing Donald Trump really has a leg to stand on in this is the Panama Canal because the United States built that back in the day. Not so much Canada or not so much Greenland. But she is right, I suppose, in this terms. Um, because there's a lot of people demanding stuff, and she said too with Russia and Ukraine, etc., that countries, there's a lot of this going on in the world. That there's too much boisterism, I suppose, in terms of countries thinking they're entitled to take over other countries and stuff. And I do think she's right in that. To be totally honest, to be totally honest with you. Yeah, no, I don't know about woke now, but if you think that's woke, you should see some of it. If you think that's woke, no, because if that's woke, I hate to say it to you, you shouldn't be. You should have been there. Is it around that? Yeah, but it's a lot of money. But what I'm trying to say is up to that's the Danish Prime Minister said Metro Furthest book. It's up to Greenland belongs to the Green. I know that's even in Ireland they cry about Ireland belongs to the Irish, etc. But the Greenland, the Iceland, the Danish Prime Minister said that it belongs to the Greenlandic people. It doesn't belong to any other country. At the end of the day, and Sanna Marin is right too. At the end of the day, too, because she said it's up to them to decide for their own future. And Sanna Marin is right in that too. That it's up to the people there to decide. It's not up to anybody else. Because the only reason why Donald Trump wants it, and she said about it too, is for economic reasons. And that's true. It's all because it's Greenland. They haven't drilled for gold, etc. So there's a huge amount of natural resources in Greenland. And it's not for the people. The people won't be better off. It'll be the big corporations in America that'll be better off. And I agree with them that. I generally do agree with them. That it won't go to the people of the United States, it will go to the corporations. And as the people beside me said, just interestingly about Donald Trump, they're all thinking about themselves. They're thinking about the stock market and stuff, like how they can bend and make more money. Because I heard it 6 or 7 times saying that like with Donald Trump being president, the stock market's going to be great. That we're going to make huge amount of millions and stuff like that. You never hear about them saying we're going to give it to the people. We're going to. I never heard one of them saying we're going to try and make the world a better place with them billions of dollars that we're going to make in the stock market. I never heard one of them ever think about that. There's people suffering in the world, etc., etc. It's all about themselves. It is true, and it's very true. Yeah, I know it wouldn't be my type, and I don't think it's Sanna Mountain's type either, because she's different than the rest of them. She's generally very, very different than the rest of them because I don't think money never really. I don't think the money ever even matters to them. I don't think she ever thought about money in all her life. There, like she's more worried about the issues. Like you can hear it in her voice really when she's there, too. That she doesn't really care. She cares about what's happening and stuff like that. She generally does. And I wouldn't say that because I've seen because you can tell by Sanna Mountain's eyes when that she is very dedicated to what she believes a lot too. Because you often hear her. And this is the thing, I just say, look up Sanna Mountain later on, videos of her. I think. And when you hear her saying, I think this and I think that, that shows to me that she really, really cares. When she says, I think, because she has thought about this. And you might not think, but Sanna Mountain has thought of like everything she says, she's thought about before. And she knows what she's thinking because she's thought about it. She's thought about it. She's not just making it up on the fly. She thinks about these things. She generally really, really, really does think about these things. And when you hear her saying, I think, more than any other politician in the world, you never hear them saying, I think, and stuff like that. Because that just shows you that she's thought about it. That she is not that she's thought about it in the fly. She's thought about it very deeply when you hear her saying that. And she said that many, many times, Joe, that I think the most important thing, etc., etc., etc. Like she has thought about these things. She thinks deeply about these things. And I have to say that. Because you can kind of hear when she says it, she's thought deeply about these things. It's not like she's made it up on the fly. But I will play the recording. Just give me a second. There's a recording I made. There's a few other recordings, but it's half stuff in it. But yeah, the last thing I really say, we move on to the other speakers in a few minutes, then we go back to Sanna Mountain. How does that sound? Because I could be here for an hour going into more detail. But yeah, no, it doesn't. It still doesn't feel real. to be there. But the most, this is the next thing. Like the funniest thing with Sandra Mowen too, when she's speaking and stuff, she looks around. But I swear to you, and I generally say this, that she directly looked me in the eyes at 3 or 4 stages. She directly see me because again, you have to remember there was generally nobody in front of me. There was nobody in front of me. There was nobody in the front of me. There was nobody for 4 seats down. So straight, she could see me more than any of the rest of them because the rest of them and even the other sides and stuff like that, those people in the way and stuff like that. So she directly could see me from the stage because there was nothing blocking her from to see me. And there was nothing blocking me for her to see me. Like she directly looked at me 4 or 5 times, pretty much what I'm trying to say. Like directly eye to eye. Like I could see her directly eye to eye looking at me. I got 100%. Like I'm not making this up. She generally did. Like she directly looked me in the eye, pretty much, at a few stages. Direct, and I generally mean that. She generally did. And that was something. And that was generally something, to be totally honest. Like she generally did. Like she 100% did because I could see like she generally did look directly into my eye. Because more, I think she knew too. That literally I was like up as far as you could go to. Like I was listening to every word, wanting to see every movement. I suppose. I know that sounds a bit wrong, but you know, just I was standing up. The rest of them were back in the seats. Like I was literally like what I'm here now, like literally sitting up straight, and I'm tall enough too. So she could see me more than probably other people. Because the lot over the other side, there's people literally that had looking into people's heads, etc., etc. So she directly could see me, and I swear to God, she did look at me nearly 5 times or so. Like I swear to God, she see me and kind of looked eye to eye and at me at one stage. Because Sandra Mowen more than the rest of them, everybody else is kind of in terms of when they were doing interviews and stuff, as you've seen earlier on. Like there was somebody interviewing her from News Talk down the stage. And the majority of the people that had them interviews done were more focused on talking to the other person. Sandra Mowen was talking to everybody pretty much. She was like looking everywhere to talk to people and stuff like that. So she directly, like quite literally looked at me. So that was quite something, to be told. But it still doesn't feel weird being there and seeing her. It still doesn't. It's insane. You exist, you know, hopefully. But no, she probably just hold me. Because again, you had to remember when I was in Finland, I met somebody that was from the Social Democrats, high up in the Social Democrats. So they probably could have mentioned her, because again, he's very high up in the Social Democrats. And he knew her post, he knew her phone number, etc., etc. So he could have met her between now and then, could have said something. Because he found out, he will basically, when I was over there, they had to find out where she was. They thought she was in the country, but she was off at the Peace Summit in Berlin. There was a Peace Summit in Berlin and stuff like that. So, that's what, so who knows what was said? Because definitely something was said to her at some stage about me, because the obvious, because that's how it was found, because they contacted me, I have to remember, a few people of the Social Democrats. They contacted me because, when you have kind of this as a YouTuber and stuff like that, it kind of raises flags, like it kind of does. When you put yourself out there with this, and you kind of get recognized, with that. So, but yeah, but hopefully it is. Hopefully, because we will get her someday. I know that sounds a bit dangerous, but not in that kind of way. But to get to meet and talk to her for a second. It's unfortunate again. It's unfortunate that again, unfortunately, nobody knew that she was going. She had things to do in Amsterdam for the Tony Blair Institute, because pretty much she's only after going back to work after the Christmas holidays. She pretty much said that too. That it was her first day back and to walk after a bit of a break with her child and relaxing. But yeah, no, it's up in it. It generally is, and it did cheer me up a lot. But the funny, like the greatest thing of it all was that I knew a lot of things that she said, like more than anybody else. I could read it word for word, what she was taking, etc., etc. Back to woke, not woke. No, she's not woke. If she's woke, I don't know what to say, because there's some of them there that they, like if you take, like you don't know anything about woke. Like I heard things there like I never heard in my life. Like one of the speakers, not Sandra Mowen, but one of them was like, "We need a great reset," and I was there like, we told what the World Economic Forum. Like one of them was like, "We need a reset on society." we need a reset. We need a new mind change. We need more censorship and stuff. Like one of them went balls to the wall about let's censor people. Like you think that's not woke. Like Santa Mountain was very like she's more like you wouldn't like. Let's put it this way: the other people there that were on the stage and stuff, you knew they were big people with big money. Santa Mountain didn't dress like she was a multi-millionaire and stuff like that. It's like she dressed very plain. You see in a second, like very, very plain. Like, yeah, I wouldn't even like nobody would ever presume she's the former Finnish prime minister. What I'm trying to say, other people were there with the big, huge suits, etc., etc. Like you could tell they're very well off. But Santa Mountain's very casual, very plain, very down to earth. Like no big words, etc., etc. She wasn't talking down to people. Like some of them on the stage, I felt like they were talking down to people a bit. But Santa Mountain was just that. Yeah, but I know what it is, but you get what I'm saying. That's what one of them said. So we could go into the wokeness, but Santa Mountain never mentioned about the Great Reset. She never mentioned about anything. Yeah, English is like she could speak very good English. So one of the two stages she kind of twisted the words. She it's hard enough for her to speak in some words like in that helps, but she can speak very good English because you have to remember the current Finnish prime minister in Finland can speak bits of English. She can't really speak full English and stuff like that. So she can speak very, very good English and stuff like that. And the same with the Danish prime minister. She can't really speak English either. It's like, no, it's not common. Like only Finland more than any other Nordic country up there the majority of them can speak English. But one trying to say she can speak very good English for the majority of the Finnish politicians. But yeah. There's a lot more to say. But yeah, no, that's why I didn't take many videos or photos. But you've seen some of the photos. I'll show you now. It was snowing like quite literally all week. But I do think this is the most important thing here.
So much. I've learned so much during the prime ministership, during my whole life. I could give you tons of.
Probably just go back. But what I'm trying to say, I do think this is the most important thing that was said at it. Like I generally do take, after listening to it for the last 2 days, I generally do think this is the most important thing that any of them ever said at the conference. I generally do think. I don't know if you can hear it that well, but we try.
So much. I've learned so much during the prime ministership, during my whole life. I could give you tons of lessons that I've learned. One thing is, it's always about people. Always about people. Everything is social, and I'm not actually socially talented.
Like that surprised me, dude. Like I was shocked. The guy was recording her face when she was talking. Like I was shocked after it. Like I probably put it up on YouTube eventually, this bit, but I was shocked because she generally said about herself. So you heard her saying there, "I'm not socially talented." But she said I can talk and stuff like that. But she said I'm not socially talented. So I was gobsmacked because I never heard her ever utter that in her life. Like saying that. So she kind of talked about herself, which gobsmacked me. So this is the time I was recording it. This is probably one of the only videos I have of it. But I was generally gobsmacked. She said about herself. Like the question was to what did you learn and stuff like that from the prime ministership and stuff like that. So, and I do think because again the whole answer was about people, and I do think that sums up Santa Mountain very well. It's about people. It's not about profit. Like everybody else is like my life is based on profit and stuff like that. And you hold Santa Mountain, it's about people, and I do think that's the best thing. And it truly is. After going through life myself, and nothing else matters. It's people. It's people's lives, their mindsets, etc., etc. I generally cry. I know it sounds so weird, but I generally cried a bit when I heard her say that because it's very good.
Talented by nature. I'm very outgoing. I'm social in that sense. I don't have any problems with speaking in front of audience, but I'm not socially talented. I don't always read people, understand about their motivations, their emotions, their feelings, their personalities. I usually just look at the issues and wonder
yeah, there we are. So that's Santa Mountain's main driver. Not about profit, it's just the issues. Like more than any other politician, It's just the issues. Like you hold it there, like hundred, like nobody else I would have, but I hold it literally hundreds of times saying this, like throughout her life.
This is the conclusion where we should go, and I say it like this, and I'm very like issue-oriented person, and I don't always understand people. I'm not socially talented that way, but what I've learned during prime ministership is that everything's social. You don't only have to see the outcome, which
no, it's like it's not 60. You've been a bit too bad, you know. But no, but you can hear the Finnish trying a bit, you know, too. But yeah.
I can see in COVID negotiations or different situations. I can see this is where we're going. That's the goal there, and we will get there. But actually, the hard part is how to get there. How can you get people involved? How do you get people to join your quest on that aim or that target? So that's the hard part. To try to understand and to learn to understand people, their motivations, their passions, their fears, and their way of thinking. That's the hard part. That's the number one thing that I've learned, and I'm not still very good at it.
But it's too that it's incredible to me too that she said I'm still not good at it and stuff like she actually admitted that she's not good at it and stuff like that. Not many people would like admit it to politicians, etc. But she like it's insane too that she said it, even just said it. But no, even just that, like people, like you hold it there, it's nothing else. Like everybody else, like it's profit, it's not people. Fuck the people. That's pretty much what was said there. Fuck the people. Who fuck the working class? Like you hold it there, like that. Just that to me, like I generally had a tear in my eye. I hate to say it. I know it sounds such a weakling and stuff like that, but I generally did have a tear in my eye when I heard about it. Was that you? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. I was in Barcelona. But no, like, do you not think that's very good? Because none of the rest of them ever said about people. And it is so true. It's all about people. Nothing else in life matters. It's all about people you associate and stuff like that. And life is about people too, getting to know people and stuff. Nothing else matters. And it's true. And that's why Santa Maun is a true hero of mine. And such a nice and good, decent politician, a good, decent person. Compared to the current Finnish government, we with us sitters. Too bad she didn't talk about it. Because again, the only reason why she wouldn't talk with the current Finnish government, because she would say it's not appropriate to comment on it. Because when the current government that's in Finland at the moment, when she was in government, they were shouting from the hilltops. Yeah, go on, Gordon. Sorry, there's a bit more to it, but I do think this is like the best moment ever. The one time I recorded it, because I was too busy listening to her. Like everything else didn't matter. Like to be totally honest with you, a plane could literally crash like 2 seats down from me, to be totally honest with you. And I wouldn't have passed any miles. So I was more focused. I think the most focused I ever was in life. Ever listening to anybody in my life, to be totally honest. And that's just to be straight up honest with you. Like a plane could literally, people could come in and put a gun to my head, and I still would be more worried about listening than, I'd rather take that bullet than not listening, pretty much what I'm trying to say. Yeah, well, I think if we had politicians, because I do think Santa Maun is a very honest and very decent young woman. Like I do think she is, and I do think it's like even just hearing O'Dale, like no Irish politician I ever heard said it's about people. The people matter more than anything else. They're all thinking about their back pockets, etc., etc. Like even for Santa Maun there, she didn't come from Meris and Graces. What I'm trying to say, she's pretty much came from nothing and walked her way up. And I think the main thing about it all, and I think what she stands for, I think the majority should stand for the majority, that she walked her way up from nothing and got to the prime ministership. And I think that's very important because the majority of Irish politicians have heirs and graces, that not only people from a class of politicians. Her family never was in politicians and stuff like that. Politics. The majority of Irish politicians have their fathers were in politics. It's a clique. It's a clique, I suppose you would say. Santa Maun's a different case, pretty much. It's generally very different. Like, yeah, even look at just the Lai Anderson. Lai Anderson's a good politician too. But yeah, Lai Anderson, her family came from a Swedish Finnish nobility, like very rich family, hugely rich family. You know what I'm saying. But yeah. But yeah, we're just listening to the last bit. Like, there's a few other videos here and there of it. Hopefully, they do put out that whole lot. But no, I have to say, just hearing that too from Sandman and just the greatest time ever to record. It really shows that Sandman, to me, it really shows that she is a really, really good person. Because I do think this was the most important thing that was said at the whole conference. To be totally honest, I don't think anything else matters. I think even just for that line alone, I'm happy to go and listen to that because it really kind of it's hard to describe. Just I suppose I cried with joy, I suppose a bit too. But it really touched me, really deeply touched me hearing that from the former Finnish Prime Minister. It really touched me. I have to say it really, really did. And I suppose it's something that I won't forget. That line alone, I won't forget until the day I die.
So everything is about people. What people think, how can you motivate them, and how can you make them to feel part of that path that you're walking? So good luck with all of you also. But that's hard thing. On that.
There we are. But I will upload the video soon because I do think it's important. But what do you think about that? But I know there's a few other clips of it I recorded. But to be totally honest, I do feel bad. I should have had my body camera on or something to record, even just for, just to remember stuff and stuff like that. Like it's a great memory too, to see you and all that and to listen to it. But just to have it even when I'm old and grey and I can't remember. But I've recorded a bit of it. But hopefully they do put out a video because we're recording it. So. No, because I do think particularly whatever but anybody else, I do think Santa Mountains, and even just this bit alone, like I such a great moment. To be honest. Like it's something I will remember to the day I die, and that's to be totally honest. But no, it's very touching. The lot of, yeah, I don't know. It just it wanted to be edgy a bit. I suppose back then, Gordon, to be totally honest. But yeah, but I do think it's like the most important thing that was said at the conference. Like there was some video, like there was some photos I took and stuff. You've probably seen them. But I do think this was the funniest photo, and but you can kind of see there. I don't know if you can see the people in front of me. Yeah, but there's nobody in front of me. Like for literally 3 seats, there was nobody in front of me. Like quite literally nobody in front of me. Only the last few seats at the very bottom there. So pretty much I was only 500 meters away from him. Pretty much what I'm trying to say. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's unfortunate. If I got a bit like, there would be put, but it's a good moment. It's a good moment. It's a pity that I didn't get to meet her. It would have been lovely to meet her, even just for 2 minutes. I would have been delighted. It was just a line too, because the person beside me was giving out. He was not before he was taking a picture off. He was taking a picture of somebody else. It just changed. And he even said, "Fuck this fucking line." Like that's what it was like to me at one stage. Fuck the fucking line. And he had a very, Jesus, must be 3,000 or 4,000 euro phone, like a very, very modern phone. And he was giving a fuck because the lighting on the stage wasn't great for the camera phones. I don't think they really want the people to take too many videos. To be totally honest. But no, I have to say it's a great privilege. And of course, if she ever does ever come to Ireland again, because again, as I said before, this was her first time ever in our state, in the Irish Republic. Yeah, I don't think they want it, but because the lighting was before that, like without the lights on the stage, it was all right. You could take a picture greatly, but even the posing again with a good camera, had a good camera phone, like a really, really modern phone. He was giving a fuck about it. But at the end of the day, I was more focused on listening. Like even when I took them photos, I was more, straight away just taking photos, straight away just like 100% focused. Like I don't think at any point in my life maybe I was that focused in my life too. But yeah, but yeah, no, it's insane to take. That was it. It still doesn't feel real. I'm sitting here thinking about it too. But yeah, if she ever does come to Cork or wherever she comes, hopefully she'll come back at some point. It is a pity that she left early. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is, I knew about that morning. Your man that I knew, John, he told me that she had to work with the Tony Blair Institute in Amsterdam. So pretty much as soon as she was finished speaking, she stayed for about 30 minutes. Like the press were taking photos, etc., of her, etc. So it's unfortunate that that you know that that she didn't stay long. It's unfortunate. To be totally honest, it's generally very upset she didn't stay long, but it's a shame because again she came in late that night. It was very late that night. Her plane came in from Finland. Um, so that's what I'm saying. So she was only that night, and then she was speaking at 10 o'clock, and she was gone by 11:30 or so. Like she was speaking at 10:30, so I know she was gone at 12 o'clock to Amsterdam, to the Netherlands. So only for that. I know I'm not listening to Tony Blair. Don't worry about that. She never once mentioned Tony Blair too. She never mentioned the Tony Blair Institute. Funny enough, she didn't actually mention the Tony Blair Institute once. Uh, yeah, that's Sandra Mowen's new book coming out. Yeah. Uh, uh, but yeah, no, it's sad that she didn't get to see it. But please God, we will. We have to work something out. But see, the worst thing about going to Finland and stuff like that, it probably would get her at some stage. But it's the timing, I suppose. Even when I'm going back and stuff like that, you get what I'm saying. You probably would not get the meet her because it's the timing too. Like even when I go back now in the summer, I'm going back to Finland in the summer. He probably the fellow I know in Finland that's in the Social Democrats, very high up. He probably look into it to see where she is, if she's in Finland and stuff, and away in something. But even then, if she's away somewhere in Berlin or somewhere else like that, what can you do? Because again, it's unfortunate if she was and this is what he said too when I was in Finland too. If she was a member of the Finnish Parliament, still an MP, like not even the Prime Minister, I would have been 110% sure to meet her pretty much. In Finland because she's a member of the Parliament. It's the fact of the matter when she's with the Tony Blair Institute at the moment. She's going to Amsterdam. She's going to here. She's going to there. She's going to different places. If that makes any sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's a lot difficult to get her, I suppose, nail her down, I suppose, if that makes any sense. I know that sounds a bit dangerous, but you get what I'm saying. Like if she was the Prime Minister or an MP, a member of the Finnish Parliament, she would be in Helsinki. She would be there regularly in Helsinki. The only time I probably would have got it maybe guaranteed is during Christmas and stuff, but I wouldn't want to do that during Christmas when she's spending time with her daughter. It would have been very, very inappropriate to go and start winging her, during Christmas to ask her for 10 minutes just for a quick video or something like that. I know that sounds a bit more dangerous, but you get what I'm saying. Even though, again, Sandra Mowen is a very open person, very understanding person. She's not, going to shout you down or something like that. Like she talked to people. What I'm trying to say, if you talk to her, she talked to you and stuff like that. And she won't run away from you. She'd talk away to you. She doesn't matter who it is. She's talked to you. As long as you're nice to her, I think that's what matters to her. And obviously, I wouldn't shout at her and that. But if somebody did do that, she probably wouldn't talk to them. But she generally would talk to people. I told about wearing my stuff, but again, if it was an only conference, right, and it wasn't a business conference, it was huge celebrities, I'd look funny going in with this hat on me, and stuff like that. Like, but generally, I say I was the only person that, like, as soon as I heard Sandra Mowen was going, like, I was told the week beforehand that it was possibly, that's what was told to me from Helsinki, that she was possibly going to be in Dublin for this event, but it was possible, and then it went to kind of middling chats before going. Then it went to a good percent chats before going. Then it went to 100% chats. So pretty much I knew before it was announced that she was going to it. I was just surprised that she was going to too. But it's a pity that she didn't stay. It's unfortunate. But yeah, so this was the photo they took. So as you can see, she wasn't wearing a big jacket and stuff. Like the cold didn't affect her, you see, because she had this on, like a hoodie jacket on, but it's only a t-shirt that's underneath her, like underneath here. So, and this was the fellow too that we were just talking about too, sitting around chatting to him. Then obviously this is the fellow from News Talk. She was being interviewed by, and then obviously a few people too. Uh, but she seemed to like she did say when she came out first of all. She said it's a pity that they couldn't stay longer. Like that's what she said because as she said it's my first time in Ireland, and there's a lot of things I want to see. That's what she said. So hopefully someday she come back because particularly she said that there's a lot of things I want to see. Because it was very late. She came in at about 11 o'clock the night before um, to Ireland on the plane from Finland. Um, so she probably went straight to a hotel and that was it. But it's a sad state of affairs that she was only there for 30 minutes. Like after she finished speaking, it was about just a bit after 10:30. She was gone out of the conference by just after 11 o'clock. So she pretty much only hung around for 30 minutes. But she was more talking to the people, like the people who were going to speak and taking photos for the press and then asking a few questions from the press. So I wouldn't have got the chats anyway to fit in that few minutes, the chat to, because it was too much going on at that stage. And her flight was at just after 12 o'clock or something like that. So she would have had to go to the airport and stuff like that and all that. So it would have been a lot of you get what I'm saying. So she didn't have much time. But this is the thing, as the person I knew from the Fed said, that she didn't know herself. Like when this was planned and stuff, she didn't know herself. She only knew the other day that she had to go to this thing in Amsterdam for the Tony Blair Institute and stuff. So that was the thing. So it wasn't that she knew a year ago, that this was happening. And just to say too, it was very late. Her name was put down because I only knew last October. The other people were already booked from last year. So pretty much it was a late minute announcement that Santa Mountain was going to. But what I'm trying to say is, I say this to the councils in Cavan and the TDs, the elected representatives to Dáil Éireann. Can we invite Santa Mountain to Dáil Éireann? That's my next appeal to the next government. Invite Santa Mountain to speak in front of Dáil Éireann. Let's get her going. Because if she did do that, I probably would wiggle myself in somehow. I get in somehow. Matty McGuire give me a lane in. So we have to start that campaign. We had to get us speaking in Dáil Éireann. How does that sound? Does people agree with me? We're going to start writing letters to Dáil Éireann now asking that. But yeah, no, hopefully she does someday come back. Because I will go to it, like to be totally honest. I will say now about different things. Yeah, but what about the Tony Blair Institute? Like she wasn't there representing them just to say, she was representing herself. Like she never once mentioned it. So basically she's there on her own behalf. But the thing in Amsterdam, she's going for the Tony Blair Institute. Now I never know why. I love to ask her why she decided the Tony Blair Institute more. I don't think it was money because she's not getting paid that much. I know it sounds stupid, but it's only about 300,000 or something like that a year she's getting. I know that sounds insane, but that's all she's getting really. But that's really it. She's not really getting a huge amount of money, so I don't know why she done it. I don't know why she did, but I don't know. But as long as she's happy, she's making some kind of difference. And the only reason why the Tony Blair Institute it's relevant is because Santa Mountain's there. Like I never heard of the Tony Blair Institute until Santa Mountain joined it. That just goes to show you. I never heard of them. So that's how relevant they were. It's only for Santa Mountain joining, and nobody would care about them. No, well, it's associated with the World Economic Forum. It's not exactly the World Economic Forum, but do you know what I'm saying? No, and no, don't. Fine. We're going to have words if you do. But no, she's not woke. She's not as woke because, like, believe me, just Jacinda Ardern or something like that was there. That'd be woke. Holly Collins was there. Like, believe me, Holly Collins is more woke than Santa Mountain. Like Santa Mountain, just even that about people. I never heard what's Holly Collins. Hello, Gizmo. Yeah, we probably will. We had to go back to playing that game at some point. With all the things going on with it. But yeah, if Holly Collins was there, it would have been a lot more woke. Believe me. Because Santa Mountain, no woke politician ever heard saying that. Not today, but some other fight. Oh, it's PlayStation. Yeah, sorry, PlayStation. Apologies. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I thought I said PlayStation. See, I'm too busy yapping. That's the problem. Oh, I know. I'm not saying I don't like Tony Blair. Don't worry about that. Yeah, but this is the thing about Sanoma. But there was never much immigration to Finland, even now. Or even back when she was Prime Minister, there was never much immigration into Finland. Stand politics. Okay, well, no bother gives me. I talk to you later. But I can assure you, I wouldn't have, if I didn't think Sanoma was a good person, I can assure you for 100%, I wouldn't have a picture up if I thought she was an evil person, that she was a bad person. Like, you have to think about that. I wouldn't put it up if I thought she was bad and that she was an evil person. She's not. She's a very good person. I say only for Sana being there, the Tony Blair should be a rotten place. I say it's only, she's made it a bit better, I suppose. That's what would be in there, her presence. Sunday morning. But she did talk, actually. No, sorry, one more thing. Yeah, this was the most. Yeah, but a lot of them are not there now. That's the thing. A lot of them are not there now because the reason why, they're pretty much getting toppled. Like, they're pretty much all left. What I'm trying to say, because the woman with Sills came along. But no, it's not that bad. Because a lot of people don't want to go there because it's too cold. For games, yeah. Or some people would be. Santa's mess, no, of course not. Well, they have ruined the economy. The economy's literally in bits. No, the reason why that happened, because everything's fucked. Like, everything is just totally fucked. There's no money for anything. That's the thing. Santa Mount didn't have a mess. Like, it wasn't a mess. Like, the mess is the current Finnish government, because there's over 500,000 people who have lost their jobs. There's no majority of rural businesses in Finland have closed. Unemployment has skyrocketed. The amount of businesses closing has skyrocketed. The people that are starving. Like, the church is actually helping more people with feeding themselves than the government. Like, it's just that bad at the moment. Like, it is terrible. And not to mention, a lot of children, for the first time in Finnish history and living memory, are going to school without food. So think about that. And all within a year and a few minutes. It never happened during Santa Mountain's time. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm trying to say to you. But even when I was in Finland, just to say to the other person, there's not that much immigration. To be told straight up front with you, there's fuck all immigrants around Finland, Helsinki particularly. I never met anybody. There was only a few in the like driving taxis. That was it. Like, there's more in Dublin. Like, Dublin is, like, we talk about Finland, so, like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of immigrants in Dublin. Like, everybody I met in the street, I have hardly seen a Dubliner. But to be totally honest, I hardly never met a Dubliner on the streets. Like, it's insane. Like there's probably 73,000 just in Dublin, more than that in Dublin alone. Like, even the people in my hotel, the receptionists and stuff, all people from outside of Ireland and stuff like that. And the same with majority of people walking up and down the streets, all from Pakistan, from here, there, and everywhere. In Finland, that wasn't the case. They were all Finnish people I met. The only people that wouldn't, the only person that was a foreign national in Finland was a few taxi drivers I seen. That was it. So it's not that big of an issue in Finland, to be totally honest. And the reason why there's not a lot of foreign nationals too in Finland too, I was only told this a while ago too, is because if they get their Finnish citizenship, right, they have to do military conscription for a man or things like that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to go and die for Finland. So, because it was said to me over there too, there was foreign nationals and stuff. They don't want the Finnish passport because they would have to go off and die for Finland if a war happened in the morning. They don't want to do that. So, But yeah, no, but the true Finns 100% have made it worse, Brian. Like, 100% they've had this. People literally, like, I don't know if you've seen the thing on the community post, but there's a woman that's 90 and there's a man that's 90 something. Yeah, well, I think Sano would have more perfected the war, because at the moment in time, the current Finnish government is a joke, So that's the more of a risk to Finland. Like, the current Finnish government is more of a joke at the moment. But yeah, Santa, a lot of people would have said, like, you see the difference in people's trust in Santa Marin than the current Finnish government. But yeah, I probably would have Santa Marin said, yeah, but compared to Ireland, it's about 2 million. It's different compared to here, I suppose. Makes any sense. But I don't know where they are, Victoria, because I can assure you now, when I was walking the streets of Helsinki, because I went around all of Helsinki, uh, not many people, no, all Finnish people, they're all speaking Finnish. So no, it wasn't Sandmouth. Yeah, well, no, I'm just saying there's not many of them around, so I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's like a bit less, but I don't think it is half million because you remember Finland's a small, it's a big country, but it's a small population. So I don't think, and you have to remember too, a lot of Finnish people don't move away. That's the thing. Now, there's less than 2,000 Finns in Ireland, just to say Finnish citizens. Like Finnish people don't move away pretty much; they stay in Finland all their life. Um, Like none of them ever emigrate. What I'm trying to say, like what it was said at the conference from another speaker, that the majority of Irish people, young Irish people my age, move away, and never come back. Like in Finland, that's unheard of. It's only recently to the current Finnish government turned up and decided to cut everything. But yeah, no. What I'm trying to say is, Brian, the current Finnish government, it's hell pretty much, because everything that worked, things that worked before, don't work now. Because a woman with sitters came along, and that was the end of it all. Like homelessness was nearly eradicated in Finland, and for the first time ever in a long, long time, it's going up. But I don't think you would. No, I don't think they would give you a thing because again, they'll be looking for passports. That's the thing. They'll be looking. They'll not be like here. They'll be looking for passports. Um, so because it's very strict. It was always very strict then in Finland, the passports and terms of that. Because again, the main thing about Finland, you even heard it from Sanna Marin, that the main thing is, um, it's about that at the moment. But there's a huge amount of businesses closed. Like it's insane. Oh my bad. But you know what I'm saying. There's a huge amount for a small country. Like for a small country, about the same, bit more maybe than Ireland. It's very bad. Like a lot of businesses closed. Like it's insane. Like the whole economy is just in bits. Yeah. We talk about it again at some point too, because I could go on for hours about it, but it is a queer mess. Like Sanna Marin was a lot better as a prime minister. Like a lot more people trust him. Yeah, of course, Native people should be treated the best. Yeah, of course. Nobody, I don't think anybody disagrees with that now. Like just take for example the moment in Finland. Just the last thing to say on it tonight, and we go into discussions about other things. Like we talk about it again. We can talk about it for 100 years next week. But take for example in Finland and rural Finland now at the moment, not outside Helsinki and Tampere, etc., the big cities. One in 10 businesses are going under. 1 in 10 small businesses are going under because they can't afford to pay the bills. Uh, yeah. Let me see now. Sorry. So I'm just getting something here. Let me see. Sorry, I'm everywhere. Sorry, there's been a lot of yapping in this. So yeah, the next speaker after that. Why is that? You mean the small business? Yeah, because they've taken away all the subsidies. You know the way the government here subsidise small businesses. Well, all of them subsidies for small businesses are gone. The True Finns cut them, and that means they have to pay employees and stuff like that. And the tax has gone up in Finland more than ever before. So that means that's the end of the small businesses because the current Finnish government cut cut their allowances. You know the way if you employ so many people, you get so much off tax, etc., here. Well, the Finnish government cut all that and basically said to the small businesses, "You're on your own," and that's what happened. You know, and not to mention too many other things. No, it's not going to anybody. That's the thing. It's not going to anybody in Finland. They just cut it for the sake of cutting it. You know, who won which? Okay, which Brian? Sorry. But that's what I'm saying. You know, it's insane when you think about 1 in 10 businesses small rural Finland. It's gone on them. You know, loads of jobs gone and stuff. That's what's happened. Because the tax is increasing, then obviously there's no subsidies at all for any small businesses. Cheap bus and gas, yeah. Well, a bit, yeah. To a certain degree. But not even that. It's just the true Finns at the moment are hate everything. We don't answer. It seems to be. When we talk about it another night. How does that sound? We get into discussion another night because I still have others to discuss about the thing. So this far, you probably haven't seen him. Wayne Nolan. He's a multi, I don't know, trillionaire. Like he's a owner of many companies. You can see Skyscanner, different things. Like insane amount of money. But I found him, to be totally honest, with you, I found him very, talking down to people. More, I'm very rich. You're very poor. Yada yada yada. That's why I found him more. Like he was lecturing people more. To be totally honest, like he was more focused on talking to the person than he was the audience and stuff. That's what I found it. But he said too that Donald Trump being elected is very good for business too. So that's what everybody's saying. Yeah, therefore I'm not laughing at Finland. Don't worry, I respect Finland's up and feels. I know the night well, you're 1939, yeah, 1940, yeah. You know, but they are good people, Finnish people. They're shy people. They are very shy, but when you get to know them, they're very nice people. The main thing for Finnish people, same with Sana too, is if they can trust you, regardless of anything else. It doesn't matter if you have money or anything that. The main thing for Finnish people more than Irish people and stuff, if they trust you, if you're going to be good to them and nice to them, and they can trust you, that's the main thing. Like the main thing in Finland is about trust. And the same with Sana. It's about trust in society, trust in everything. That's the thing. And unfortunately, again, just to say the last thing I say about the current Finnish government, the true Finns, etc., that trust is gone. Like you see in the polls in Finland, that trust is gone in the current government. Sanna Marin's government, and even her herself, people trusted her. They trusted her to make the right decisions and do the right thing. The current Finnish government, nobody can trust them to do anything. Should be bad. I don't know. They were mentioned stocks. He was talking about stocks too. He was saying about stocks, so you probably should listen to him, Wayne Nolan. Did you ever hear of this person before? I heard of him before because he's a huge business tycoon. They can see Skyscanner and all that, like huge corporations and stuff. Michael, like a huge amount of money. No. Well, that was who was after that. But there was an interesting thing just to say, going back to. Sorry, apologies. T-boy. Let me see. Yeah, so that's the goodie bag. I'll show you the goodie bag in a few minutes. Yeah, so you can see here, insane amount of money. So this was the comedian. So they got a comedian to come out. I don't know why they got a comedian. The feds have come from. The true Finns have come for me. So I don't know if anybody ever heard of him. I heard of him before. I didn't know him that well. But there's funny thing with him. He's a comedian too. He made some funny jokes. He was saying about a Cork accent. I know people were saying about cavan accent. He was saying about a Cork accent. And guess who he said about? He said about Sana. He was like, I was talking to Sana backstage, and she didn't know me. She didn't know me. He was like, she didn't know me. She didn't know nothing about me. She never heard of me. And she was asking, what is a Cork accent? Because he's from Cork, I think he said. And he was like, oh, well, Cork, he was trying to explain it to Sana. And he said she was very confused in what he was trying to tell her and what he was trying to say. So it would have been funny to see that conversation backstage. She probably wouldn't have understood me with my accent, but sure. Look at. But yeah, no, but this is the thing too. Just going back to Sana Mountain. Everybody was saying, like, even he said it too at the beginning when he first came out, said like he referenced Sana, and a few other people referenced Sana, and said she was 100%. Like particularly that comment that it's about people. He even said too, and he said Sana is so white in saying it's all about people. Life is about people, and everybody agreed with Sana. So it just goes to show you Sana is such an inspirational person, and is right in that. Yeah, but does anybody know him? Does anybody ever heard of him? Anybody ever heard of him? Just to say it, just because if you ever heard of him, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he made some funny jokes and stuff. He was there just kind of lighten the mood. But even he said it himself, like he was a bit nervous, in my opinion, because he said he usually does parties and stuff like that, like stand-up comedian. With these all these business people with multi-millionaires and stuff like that, they have too much money. They have too much money. They're too more worried about the money. So, it's hard to do that when people have the people there are just worried about it. It's not about profit, it's about people. What's his name? It's Kieran Bradley, you see that. So he was there the next one. I didn't have much again, he was funny enough. So this other woman, is a doctor. She was talking about methods and stuff like that, like how to motivate your employees. So, say for example, you're a CEO for business, how to get your employees to work and to work hard and stuff, and that to make big profits in employment and stuff like that. And she was saying too, but the majority of employees nowadays not working hard compared to years ago. And the reason is, and they said it themselves, is because people can't afford to live anymore. People can't afford to pay the rent. All the money's going towards the rent, or paying off a mortgage, or paying off a house. All that money's going towards that. It's not going to, people are not, nobody wants to work hard, because at the end of the day, I work hard. And the harder you work, you won't get any extra money for it. And simple as that. Like, I bust myself a lot of times to do things. You don't get any extra money for busting yourself. And it's the truth. I'm sure you would agree. You don't get any money for busting yourself. You get the same money as you usually do. And that's as simple as that. Years ago, work paid. And it's simple as that. And it's the truth. She was right in saying, work paid years ago. Money went further. Work paid. You felt you were making a difference years ago working. Nowadays, you feel like it's just mindless droning work that you get none out of it. And I'm sure we all agree it's the truth. It is simply the truth. So she's saying how to motivate people, how to motivate workers to work hard to make you a profit, pretty much, which is very many things. Yeah, we get to that at the end. Just bear with me. We'll get to that at the end. Is that okay? Because we do all the maths at the end. Well, it's not even that too. Like, I know people who work hard and stuff like that, and they get a good bit of money home. Like, there's people I know get 700-800 euro, 900,000 euro home at the end of the week. When they pay their electricity bill, right? When they pay their rent, right? When they pay for their car, right? They have barely any money left. They have 200 euro left at the end of the week. And this is people 900 euro a week. Think about that. They only have about 200 euro left at the end of the week. That's, when you think about that, that's insane. Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. That's what it is. It's all about squeezing people, living daylights out of people. But that's the truth. I know people who get 900 euro a week. They only have about 200, maybe 300 at the end of the week. So what's the point to really going out and working when you're literally paying off a house? You'll take this up your rent. Half your money's going to rent, and the other half's going to the electricity, your car, insurance, whatever. That's what they mean to say. So nobody's going to. Why would you work your backside off to never get the promotion or anything like that, just to work mindless jobs, um, that you're never going to get promoted, that you're never going to go anywhere and stuff like that, and never to be able to own your own house or anything like that. You own nothing and be happy, in other words. But you get what I'm saying. But that's what she was talking about, how to motivate. So it's pretty much for employees to try and get your people to work. Dr. Heather McCann, I never heard of her before. I don't think you would. And then this woman here was talking about how many people are working from home and people not engaged with work, etc., etc. And this was a bit sus too. If you think about woke Santa being woke, Brian, like this was a bit sus. Oh, because she was saying about the Great Reset will be a great opportunity to change the future of work, which more or less, in my opinion, means 15-minute cities. What she was trying to emphasize. That's what I think she was more or less saying. We need 15-minute cities. So that's more or less what we're saying. We need the future of work. We need more AI. We need more. And she basically said too, we need to get rid of a lot of jobs. And that's more or less what she was saying. We need to get rid of some jobs for the greater good. And she used the word the greater good for making life easier and greater good, etc. Like it's insane when she said that too. I'm just trying to see myself there. So I was over this side just to say, I was supposed to be up here. This is where I was, somewhere here. That's me there, I think. Yeah, that's me there. Might be it's somewhere there. Yeah, yeah, that's probably me there. That's me there. You can see just barely because the other person there, it's blocking my view there. Well, not blocking my view, but he was there. But that's what this woman was arguing for. The Great Reset, pretty much. So if that's woke, so don't think they won't walk. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to walk. But again, if you're going to own nothing and be happy, why would you walk? And it's not even that true. And it's true nowadays too. When you go home in the evenings, a lot of jobs you still have to do your work pretty much. So after your day's work, you need to go back and answer emails and stuff in the evening time. No, not really. No, it wasn't that. That'd be Davos more than here. But there was some fortune sickening, I would call it. Fortune sickening, I suppose, in terms of that. But Santa Mountain wasn't about that. But we need to do this by 2030. She never mentioned anything like that. She can just talk about her experience as Prime Minister, what to do, how to motivate yourself, etc., etc. That's pretty much what she talked about. Like these people were fortune signaling, like this woman was fortune signaling, more than Santa Mountain. Santa Mountain wasn't doing that. I mean, that's what I'm saying. She was quite different. So then there was this fellow. I could never think of him. He's a wobbly legend. You probably often heard of him. I have heard of him before. He was talking about how to motivate people. He was talking about his business, etc., etc., and how he made money, etc., etc. So I'm sure people have. I'm sure everyone only here he know who he is, and everybody. He was talking about stocks and stuff too. I'm not part of the World Economic, so don't worry about that. They wouldn't let me. Like, see, I could try and go to Davos in the morning, but I wouldn't be let in. To be totally honest, because as I said, I heard that person talking about the World Economic Forum going to Davos, and I wanted to go down and give out to them, but I couldn't do it, unfortunately. But I would. So believe me, they wouldn't want somebody like me. I'm too cooperative. Tie in the picture. Yeah, but she definitely looked at me, like definitely looked at me 5 times, like directly into the eyes. She's seen me directly. So hopefully she'll remember if I ever do meet her. It'd be very funny if I do ever meet her. She'd be like, oh yeah, I remember you from Dublin. Yes. But did anybody know this fellow? Does anybody know him? Jacksman. And then there was this doctor too. She was more talking about her being, she's the lawyer too. She's blind. Like, fair play to her. Like, she's very inspirational too, I will say. That she's blind. She can't see. She has a stick and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm over here somewhere. That Rodrigo Gorman. That could be Rodrigo Gorman there. I think that could be Rodrigo Gorman. Could it be? Like these are the 1% here, just to say. These are the elite here. I'm with the elite too, because they're all down here is the elite. So I don't know who else. There's probably people you know. But I think that could be what could come because there's a good few politicians sitting around here. Looks like Helen McAtee. Maybe that could be actually Helen McAtee. Because there's a few politicians there. Like, not Simon Harris. Micheál Martin was after Drake Party. Like she's a one or two. You probably haven't heard of her. She's a one. Like fair play to her too. She ran across all the continent and hope blind too. Just wait. Don't say that, Brian. Now, come on. No, well, nobody actually used that. No, nobody used the pronouns to that. No, but no, Santa's different. But I will say that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. But it truly is. Especially that bit. It reinforced anything I believed in before. But I do believe in Santa Mountain. I'm willing to die in that hill. I'm willing to die in that hill. I know it's not the most popular thing to say. Like, not many people in my position, too, that's against the establishment and stuff. And so I am pretty much in a lot of cases. Not many people are willing to say that they'll support, a former prime minister and stuff. But I do think she's good. She's a good person. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't say it. Because you don't hear me saying about me how Mountain being a good person. Is my soul. Well. And then there was this fellow. You definitely heard of this fellow before, but yeah, we'll get to that. So Jimmy, you probably often heard of him. He's a bit sarcastic and stuff, but he was there for a few minutes talking about. He was cancelled before for being woke, etc., etc. So you probably often heard of him. But yeah, I have to say the amount of coursing he did is insane. It's quite insane the amount of coursing and the amount of language he used. Like it's insane the language he used in some regards. Yeah, I get. Don't worry, I get to that. I get to the doorway. I get to that. Don't worry, I can assure you, I get to that. I just want to get through this bit, and now we talk about the cost. Santa witnesses, yes. Yeah, you often heard of him. Yeah, so he was cancelled before. You know the gist. Then he was cancelled before, etc. But the matter of coursing, and he made a joke about. I'm not even going to auto it actually, but I probably better not to auto it. But I won't auto it. But at the end of the day, he's entitled to make jokes. Some of them I thought were a bit too much, a bit dark, a bit too dark. But at the end of the day, that's freedom of speech. You're entitled to your opinion. It's a free country. It's not up to me. I didn't really pass much marks. Like everybody else, like when Santa Marin spoke, I was literally up as high as I could get. When everybody else spoke, it was like, that's what I was like. I didn't really pass much marks. Yeah, 8 out of 10 cats. So you know who I'm talking about, yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't. I found him very sarcastic, I suppose. I often heard him before, but I often found him very sarcastic. So I didn't pass much marks. He did make some, funny jokes. He did. Like a few of them were funny, but a few of them were very, very dark. Like the one I was about to say to you, it's very, very. You see it probably in the video whenever they put out the video. Like it was very, very dark. And I'm not even going to utter it because it'd be probably too inappropriate for me to say it. But it's very dark, and again, it's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. It's entitled to. I might not like it, but people will. It's his opinion. At the end of the day, that's democracy. But it's good to see that a man that was cancelled before for his opinion, that he's able to restart his career and stuff like that. I'm sure you would agree. It's great to see it. Even though I wouldn't have as much time from as maybe other people, but at the end of the day, he's entitled to do what he does, and I have no problem with it. But he wasn't. If this was woke, just to say too, why would they fight this post? Because you could tell actually the funniest thing, you could tell the rest of them that were there. They weren't that fond of him. The rest of the people were businessly, they weren't too fond of him because a few of them were like, more or less, this fellow doesn't really belong here. That's more or less what they were like. I didn't really mind. Didn't make any difference to me really if he was there or not or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I laughed at some of them, but some of them were a bit too far. That makes a bridge too far. But at the end of the day, it's entitled to his freedom of speech. There's nothing I could do. I'm not saying I'm offended or anything, but he's entitled to do it. It just didn't. I just didn't find it funny. Simple as that. I just didn't. There's people that did find it funny, but a lot of them didn't find it funny. That's what I'm trying to say, particularly here. So if it was woke and stuff like that, they wouldn't have invited him because he was literally cancelled before. And he said too, pretty much what he said too. He made a joke about something to do with transgenderism. Take for example, but he got books in prison for Willie, pretty much. Yeah. So this singer too. The YMCA with Sam. I would have loved to if she would have. Yeah. But no, this woman here, on the way out, I happened just to uh, see her too. Like she was very good. Like she's very, very talented woman. She's done some singing. I happened to. I just said to her, very well sang and said, etc., etc. So no, she was very good. And I wouldn't have said it to her, but I did say it to her on the way out that fair play to you. It was great, great sing, great voice. So she's a great singer. When you see if the video ever does come out, like on the channel, their channel, but it was she's very good. She's a very good singer, like really, really good, very talented, just to say. And didn't have much vocal. As I say, didn't have much vocal. Just say very well sang, etc., etc. So that's pretty much who I said to. I didn't shake her hand around it, but I just said it to him because I just seen on the way out. Super woke, yeah. But no, at the end of the day, I didn't find it funny. Like there was some of them. One of the jokes I thought were really, really inappropriate. But at the end of the day, it's freedom of speech. I say that people are entitled to their opinion. No, he's entitled to his own opinion. There's nothing I can do. It's a free country, But it was some of the points he made were funny. Because at one stage, somebody he was saying about his cows. He owned a few cows, etc., etc. And somebody was like, "Nobody wants to hear about my cows." And then somebody in the audience shouted out, "We want to hear about your fucking cows." And basically, but anyway. So you never heard it. Does anybody ever hear this woman? Just because I just want to hear it. When did you ever hear of them? Did you ever really hear of this woman? Because she's not that well known. I thought she was more well known. So I did meet. You've definitely probably heard of him. I shook hands with Sugar Lee on the way out. He was saying about his fighting days, his boxing days, etc., etc., fighting. And I shook hands with him and said very well spoken, etc., etc. But that's the only person I really met that was famous and said, who I heard of before, one of the keynote speakers. I shook his hands and said, well done. So at least I got to meet him. Did anybody ever hear him? Yeah, like he's an old man now, but back in his heyday, he was a very popular person. So yeah, I got to shake his hand. I only said very well. I didn't really get into a big conversation. I didn't take a photo. Should have took a photo, but I didn't take a photo. I just didn't take. See, I'm not the type of person who takes about photos and stuff. Boxing, yeah. You probably all heard of him anyway. So. But I met with him, but anyway. Like not met with him, but on the way out, I seen him and I shook his hand and said, "Very well done." But yeah, he was saying about the importance of motivation, etc., etc., how to win fights, the mindset, I suppose, of fighting, etc., etc. Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah. He's called Leon, but you often heard of him. He's a six-time world champion. Insane amount of stuff. But yeah. With jealousy, no. Well, I don't know. It'd be very tough to meet her now. See, it would have been easier back in the day when she was prime minister. You could probably meet her. Like it'd be millions. As I said to you, it was millions to one if I could have met her. But But no, but if you did meet Sana, you would be amazed too, because she is a good person. Like you would be amazed. You would have a different. Like I genuinely do take too. If I got speaking to Sana and stuff, I would have a different view probably on a lot of stuff. Well, not really a drastic view, but a different view of the world. Like I do feel too. Like I had a different view in the world after hearing Sana around speaking. Like a lot of things, as I said to you earlier on, I questioned a lot of things I thought before about different things. After, like, literally here in person too. Uh, a lot of soul searching about different things. Let's put it that way. Uh, do what you want. Well, I don't know, but I know. But I do think I'm right in supporting Santa Marin and being a good boy, because I do think she is a good person. And I wouldn't generally, because I thought long and hard before I put up pictures, etc., etc. Thought long and hard about it. Like, I wouldn't celebrate her if I didn't think she was a good person. Like, you don't see me doing it with Simon Howes or Leo Franco into that, or Holly Combs, because I don't think they're good people. I don't think they've good intentions. Um, but I do think Santa Mountain really does care, and I think that video alone, that bit of the video, where it's all about people, I think that just tells you everything. Like, whatever, but anything else ever Santa Mountain said, that hits the nail on the head. You know, never heard of Sam. Where do you live? Where do you live? Like, what reality do you live in? Like, the youngest prime minister in the world, etc., etc. You definitely did. You definitely heard of it before, because it was the big, huge thing when she became prime minister. Like, everybody was talking, but it was all over social media too. Like, a very young prime minister, like 34, and a young, huge, young cabinet. With your young women, etc., etc. So that was that. So I got to shake his hand for 2 seconds. Um, but yeah, look him up. Look up these people when you get chats. Um, yeah. So this is where. Yeah. So this is where Santa Mountain was. I know the video. This is behind the curtains here. So I seen Santa Mountain. So I was sitting over here, and I could see Santa Mountain behind the curtains, like instantaneously. I could see her. Like, even though there was loads of people flowing around at the time when she was there, her secretary and stuff was there. I could tell straight away who Santa Mountain was. So that's just the thing. Like, I straight away knew, the figure off her, I suppose. Um, um, like, it's a good view too. You were at it before the convention. It's a good view of Dublin too. I was looking. I was having tea and just looking at the sites too. It's a good view up the very top floor. So obviously there was a convention thing where you could go around. Uh, you can go around looking and stuff like that. There was a few things. I don't know who these people were. The professors, different stands. The European Union had stands and stuff like that to do different things, investment and stuff like that. Boris Johnson had books there. He wasn't. He was there. Actually, no. I tell a lie. He wasn't there at the time. It was his two people saying. I seen him in the hallway. Uh, but he wasn't. He wasn't selling the books. But there was people selling books for him. Now, this was at the beginning of the second day. This person was very, very good now with the guitar, like, not with the guitar, with the violin. Sorry, I think they were taking the wrong person in this, just to say too. But they were very talented. Yeah, they have very good talents. I wish I was talented too. So, I was I here? I don't know. Was I here for this one? Uh, I can't really speak too much about this fellow. Um, he was all right. Now, I didn't find him too much, but he was all right. There wasn't too much wrong with him. This person here, this is a doctor. I think it is. See, a lot of people, I was just like listening to him. I wasn't really that, but yeah, uh, she was talking. I don't really have much else to say. Um, this is the same woman, isn't? Yeah, this. Um, so this fucking robot. Excuse my language. Uh, yeah, you often heard of it, did you? Yeah, youngest prime minister of Ireland, but Santa Mountain was more younger than Simon Harris ever was before he even took office. Santa Mountain was the youngest prime minister ever. Um, yeah, I didn't meet her, but I was there. I didn't hear much. I was just kind of, I wasn't really paying much attention to it. I just kind of was there. You know. See, the first day was the best day. This is the second day. The second day wasn't that great. It was the first day that was great. Um, yeah, I see. I wouldn't know. I didn't know much about it before. I know what you're saying, Brian. But no, this fucking useless cut and bastard yoke. Uh, like literally, it was the most worst thing imaginable. It was banging into people. It was killing people. It was eating them for breakfast. No, like literally was banging into people. Like quite literally, some poor woman lost her balance and kind of tripped over because this fucking yoke banged into the back of her. Like these people might laugh because she fell. So yeah, these people were there too. Don't know why they haven't laughed at me, but and then this woman too. To be totally honest, after this, I kind of switched off. I wasn't really interested at all. Be totally honest, listening to. So after that, I kind of got up and left. So I don't know about this person. I don't know who he was, but he was just about to speak, and I kind of got up and left. I kind of had enough of it. To be totally honest, I was tired too because it was a long day. And then this fellow too came along, and oh no, he's the same fellow. Yeah, but Santa Mountain too was saying but long story short, for the whole media, etc., etc., the main thing was Santa Mountain. Nobody talked about anybody else. Like Santa Mountain was the most popular speaker there, without a shout of a doubt. So yeah, this is the woman that was organising it. We're doing the thing. You probably often know. And known by OAF pilot, the ODF pilot, etc., etc. And then there was this woman too. Well, I was gone at the time. This was something to do with Met Aaron or something like that. There was a few other speakers, but it wasn't that bothered. I don't know who he is. Tipperary man. Local Phoenix candidate. Lucky I left, and I must have knew they were going to Fine Gael, so be up. Fine Gael, fine. Who is this for? So I'm just showing. I wasn't even here for these people, just to see, for the argument's sake. It was 2 days. I went for half the second day because it was a long day. Like, did not take a long day just kind of sitting down. Like, it was I arrived the first day at 8 o'clock, right? I was not going home until 6 o'clock that evening. And then the second day was it was 7:30 again, or 8:45 to, it was going to be 5 o'clock or so. It would have been a long, long day. Because I'm not used to sitting down. See, when I'm at work and stuff, you're moving around, you're doing things. When you're sitting down, I'm fucked pretty much. Yeah, I get to that in a second. Don't worry, I'll get to that in a second. You're dying laughing. Why are you dying laughing? What's the... yeah, like, how do you think I felt too? Because I was laughing away to myself half the time. Listening to people. I mean, these I wasn't there at the time, but yeah. And then that was it. But this fellow you probably heard of. Everybody was so hyped too to hear him. You heard of this fellow. He's a tennis player. Everybody would have heard of him before. I didn't listen to him now because I was gone at the time. But everybody was delighted to hear him. But definitely Santa Mountain was the main person. Like, everybody was just entranced listening to Santa Mountain. So I didn't go to the a catfish. Yeah, no, it's a stupid fucking ass thing. Never seen the stupidest thing in my life. I wouldn't mind if it was doing the right thing because it had coffees and stuff. Not in that picture now, but the day before, the first day had coffees and stuff going around. For people to take off it and stuff like that. But the fucking stupid ass fucking robot was banging into people, and all the coffees and teas were spilled all over it, and it was like leaking and all that. Like, it was funny. It was funny that now. Like, it just goes straight. Like, why could they not pay somebody to go around and give them the coffees and stuff? And then the fucking yoke banging, it nearly banged into me too. Like, it was coming towards me at one stage. It was set to knock me down. Like, the poor woman, like, kind of like it banged into the back of her leg. Like, was trying to attack her, But yeah, that's why they probably took the coffees and stuff out of it the second day. But there was a who and bastard thing because everybody was running away from it. Like, that's what everybody was moving. As soon as they came close to them, it was moving away from it. So it was like the robot from hell. So it was very funny. It was generally very funny. But yeah, so I didn't go to this now. This was the drinks, free drinks and all that afterward at this yoke. Uh, so it was two, like free drinks, free bowls and all that. I didn't go near it, even though I paid for it and all that. I paid to go, I didn't go to it. So I just didn't go to it. So there you go. I didn't go to it. So a lot of people went to it. Here they are with the drinks and stuff. So a lot of people went to it. I didn't go to it. Free drinks, all everything, free everything. So I didn't go. Too tired after though, and I didn't really want to talk to anybody else to be that answer. But yeah, so that's a done. So you were asking me too for free drinks. No, I was too tired. It was 6 o'clock. It didn't end. It didn't end at 12:30, and I was coming home that morning. And the only reason why, if Santa Marin was there, I would have went. Because Santa Marin, if she was going to stay, she would have went to it. So I had no purpose to go. No, she didn't go because she was gone. She was definitely gone, 100%. Because the fellow I knew said John, and then the other people said about it too. Because she was going to the Amsterdam, she was going to the Netherlands, and even she said that I'd be going after this to the Netherlands. Like even she said it. I'm off now, and I won't be able to stay, unfortunately, because I have to go to the Netherlands. So she said it too. So, but it was too late. Like, it was 6 o'clock. Like, it was 2 full days, right, of listening to stuff. I was there half of the second day. But it would have been 5 o'clock or so when it was over, 5:30, and then I had to go to the event and thing. And it was 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock by the time they were going out. And I had to go early that morning home. It was too much. It was too tiring. But I would have assured you, if Santa Marin was going, I would have went. But I had no purpose to go because Santa Marin wasn't there. So you get what I'm saying. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. If she was there 100%, I would have went. I would have busted myself to go. But she didn't. She definitely did. She left because. So you were asking about the price and stuff like that, how much it cost and stuff. So we already know, but spoke with the hotel and the bus and stuff like that. So this was, I didn't go for the first ticket. It was this ticket. I went for the prior, the what they call it, the luxury one. Like, not the luxury, the second class ticket. This is the first class ticket. I didn't get this. I got the second one, so I got better seat, like basically because of the seats. Access. I didn't even go near. I never even looked at the platinum room. Like, there was a whole special room for the platinum, for the second class people. A whole special room to sit down, free coffee, free other stuff, free food and stuff like that. I never went near it. Imagine that. I paid for it, never went near the room. Access to an app and stuff, CT accredited, some other things. There were some side things going on to do with it. So there was some like other things going on, complete refreshments. I only got a glass of water. I never drank anything. I had my breakfast that morning in the hotel and I was happy enough. Like, there was loads of croissants and different things there to eat. The only thing I got was a glass of water. We had in that bag. We had a glass of water, like not a glass of water, but a bottle of water. And we had a bottle of wine bean or something like that. I drank the two of them. That's all I had the whole day. I never went near to go to get a meal or into that. And access to all speakers. So there was some side things too, like Boris Johnson was there too, and other Irish politicians. Seen Simon Coveney, I actually forgot to say, in the corridor. I think I said it now, I don't know. But yeah, so priority seating. So this was, I was going to, just listen for a second. Everybody calm down for 2 seconds. So I was going to get this. It was €3,000. But lucky I didn't. The only reason why I didn't get it, and I might as well tell you straight. The reason why I didn't get it, just listen for a second. The reason why I didn't get it, and I didn't say it at the time too, and like I suppose it's luck that Santa Marin was going to. I suppose God was giving me a bit of luck in that, because I would have paid that. I would have paid it. But the only reason why I didn't pay it, just listen for 2 seconds. The only reason why I didn't pay it, because I had to pay a man for the wall, and I didn't know this was coming up pretty much. So long story short, I had to pay to go back to Finland now in the summertime. So pretty much was too much expensive for the coffers to have to pay for the top dollar. So that's the only reason why I didn't pay for the top dollar, because it would have been, I estimated it would have been nearly €5,000 I would have had to pay if I went for the top dollar. And that would have been a lot of money, I'm sure, just for the hotel, for the food and all that, 5,000 Think about that, 5,000 just to go up to Dublin for 2 days. And I paid 10,000, remember, to go to Helsinki. So it would have been nearly half the cost to go up the road to Dublin. Think about that. So that's the only reason why. So it was a good thing Santa Mountain wasn't there, because you're only allowed to take photos too, unless you paid for it. See the way photos with Angus and stuff. No, not you. Probably could if you talked to them, but there were special photos. There was a photographer there to take photos, especially for the looks, like the people who paid the top dollar. But Santa Mountain wasn't there. So nobody got photos with Santa Mountain. No, only Joe that paid for this got photos. So they probably didn't. Nobody probably wanted to take photos with her. Really, no, not in that regard. That sounded a bit dangerous. That sounded a bit wrong. But you know what I'm saying. She didn't stay long. These people stayed all night. They went to the thing after the party and stuff like that. But the good thing was there was a private dinner for the last one with me, Hot Mountain, and so lucky. That's the only reason why. That's the other reason why I didn't go to this too. Pay this, because there would have been a private dinner with me, Hot Mountain. And you mean to tell me I could have sat there and listened to me, Hot Mountain, dribble for an hour? Because me, Hot Mountain, spoke for an hour at that private dinner. That was the first night. There was a private dinner with the guests. Santa Mountain was the only speaker that wasn't there, but as a guest and stuff for the private dinner. So basically, everybody got, the people that were there, that were the VIP people, the VIP, got a private dinner pretty much with the celebrities and stuff, with the establishment. With me, Hot Mountain, as I say, and a lot of other people, Boris Johnson and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I didn't pay for the top dollar. And it all worked out in the end, because I would have been upset, to be totally honest, if Santa Mountain was going to it, like the private dinner particularly, and then the photos and stuff, the photographer and stuff, a private photographer taking photos, etc., etc. So she didn't go to that. So it all worked out in the end, because I was a bit upset, to be totally honest, before that. To be totally honest with you, can I be honest for a second? No, I was a bit upset because if she would have been there and stuff like that, I would have got to meet her if I didn't pay. But I didn't pay for it, so I didn't pay because of that, because of all the things. And the only reason why, because the expenses were too much. It would have been 5,000 or so to go up to Dublin, and the wall. And I didn't know this in advance, but the wall and stuff. I had to pay for the wall, the plato and stuff like that, and then I had to pay for the tickets to Helsinki and stuff, and the hotel and stuff. And it is a lot of money. And to be totally honest, I couldn't. And to be totally honest, I might have been able to afford it, but at the same time too, then Christmas was coming up too, and I needed to buy things for Christmas and stuff like that. And you get what I'm saying. So basically, what I'm trying to say, the funds just simply wouldn't have been there to pay for that much of an expenditure. Simple as that, because it was a lot of expenditure. If I would have went for the VIP one. But I suppose it's a luxury too that Santa Mountain left early too, because I would have been a bit upset, to be totally in myself, if I didn't pay for it, because I would have paid it. Like, I should have probably paid it, but lucky I didn't pay it. But I probably would have got to see her anyway, because if I paid this amount of money, nearly €3,000 to go, I would have had to. I would have said to them, they would have probably made an exception for me to meet Santa Mountain. But again, I wouldn't have had long with her, because she had to be gone very soon after, because again, she only take photos of the photographer and the media asked a few questions, so she didn't have long. So it wouldn't have been pretty much worth my while, because I probably only would have got a photo with her and then she would have been gone. So it kind of all worked out in the end, to be totally honest. But this is the one I went for. So I paid 1,100. So about 1,200, you could say, for argument's sake. So about how much I paid altogether. Food and all that, transport and all that. Let's give or take 2,300 or so. 2,000, well, no, 2,400, something like that. So for argument's sake, let's just say, so yeah, we say about 900 or so for the hotel, give or take. Then this, around that. And then the transport and food, different things. Yeah, just about over 2,000. So if I would have got this, but you could roughly say this was 3,000, right, for the top dollar ticket, and then the hotel, and then you add in your transport, you add in your food and stuff. So you think about that, that would have been a lot of money. I'm sure you would have mean, because there would have been 3,000 just for one ticket for one day. I would have, for 2 days. And then obviously you could stream it too. You could watch it on the stream, 545 stream. Then you can have all this too. But that's what that was too. So I went to it, didn't I? But does that answer your question? Stop, you're killing me. Which what? Killing you? What? Killing which? One thousand. No, I didn't chill out out. But no, but that's how much it was. I know because people ask me how much, and then being honest with people, like a lot of people probably would hide it and stuff like that. Yeah, well, it's supposed to do. But you have to remember, this is the elite of the elite that goes to this. It's not for the only Joe, as I said to you. I said that from the start. It wasn't for the like everybody knew it was expensive. For that night, I hope they didn't. I didn't get it then, so but the people, the top dollar might have got it. But yeah, no, I just answer your question because you did answer it, and you did ask, and I wasn't going to be. You asked a genuine question and stuff like that. So, and along with other people, many people asked me. But you get what I'm saying. I didn't want to. You asked the questions you like to know, I suppose, too. That how much is spent. Yeah, no, yeah. But yeah, sure. Look at. I'm happy. I enjoyed myself the first day. If I didn't get to listen to Santa, I would have been very upset. But I was worth the penny. But the only thing I say is, if I would have went for the top dollar and I didn't get to meet Santa Mountain, I would have been very upset. To be totally honest, with you. So it all. The main thing is God's plan. It works out in the end. It generally did because I probably wouldn't have got to meet her if I asked them. I probably would have. But it would have been only probably a minute, because Santa Mountain had to get on the plane and go to Amsterdam. So so it all worked out in the end because some other day, please God, I will get to meet her. She had more time, to chat and stuff like that. Yeah, like I had the hotel booked from October. As soon as I knew she was going, booked it. Got it done. Uh, like it was insane. Tried to one out, but yeah, but yeah. But what did we take? Did people think it was that price? I know you said earlier on. I can never pronounce your name, but you know who I'm talking to. You said about 1,000. It was about that. Like the other ticket was cheaper, but I went for the second ticket because it was priority seats. But at least that was moved up too. In court. What do you mean court? What are we getting killed in court for? Um, but no, I don't regret it. I know people say it's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But to be totally honest, the total the VIP ticket I couldn't have afforded to pay for it. To be totally honest, especially because, as I said, the wall and then paying for a holiday, uh, and then paying for Christmas and stuff like that, it would have been just too much in the coffers. Because at the end of the day, I'm not like the rest of them. I have to work a 9 to 5 job. I have to go out and work for my money. Have no, I have no business or anything like that. So I have to go out and work. Every penny I had there, uh, I had to go and work for it. The rest of them, a lot of them there too, were on the company's expense. Like take for example the members of the Oireachtas there, they didn't have to pay for it. The members of the Oireachtas get in for free. If I was a TD, I get in for free. Member of the Oireachtas get in for free. So just think about that for a second. So, because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. Because it wouldn't have been inappropriate for me to like maybe some people probably shill for it and stuff like that, but I didn't do it. Oh yeah, there was a bit of a chat. Like as I said to you, the desk. I said to you, they said you're here for one woman. Like there was a bit of a chat. Like the girl was nice, who give me the tag and the band and stuff. Like there was, yeah. And then the fellow I knew I was talking to somebody before this. It was John. I can't say his second name, but it was John. He was from the vet there. And I was talking to him. I met him. I talked to him for a few minutes. He was saying about it. And he said to me about you were here for one woman. So it was a bit of a touch, yeah. So they were nice. No, but they were nice. Anything I wanted, they got me. Like I asked them too at one stage, where's the toilet and stuff at one stage. And they brought me to the toilet. It was downstairs. They showed me directly where it was. Oh, with Sana, yeah. Yeah, a bit of a chat, etc. So, yeah, I would have liked that, but I didn't. I didn't know until I arrived that Sana had to go to the Tony Blair. It's only for that I probably maybe would have got her, but it's only unfortunate because again, it wasn't meant to be. That's as it was sad, and that's just a simple fact. Maybe if I paid the top dollar, I would have only got a minute or two with her anyway. She would have had to go. I wouldn't want to be responsible for her missing her flight or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it wasn't to be. I'm sure you would agree. God didn't want it to be, but next time I will. Hopefully, please God. It wasn't to be. So, and it's just kind of thing because I would have paid the top dollar, um, for it again. And I would have probably kicked myself for not paying it because I was kind of regretting it all week too. Before the event, I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to meet Santa Mountain because I didn't, pay to meet." If that makes sense, that's what's going through my head the last few months. I was kicking myself for it, but at the end of the day, I couldn't afford the expenditure of it. To be totally honest, at the time, you know, because you have to remember there was other things coming up to Christmas, and then the paying for the wall. Because I didn't know, but if I knew about this a year in advance, I would have saved up money for it and I would have paid for it, the top dollar. But as the fact of the matter, I'm just an ordinary Joe, who works a 9 to 5 job cleaning the streets. Like there's other people there, executives and stuff. They don't have to pay for it because guess what? It's on the company's expense. Now, there was one employees group. There was two or three, actually 4 or 5 of them, and they work for a company. And they said to me they want the company's expense, so the company is paying for them to be here. So they didn't have to pay a penny, and the hotel rooms never to pay for the company. So I had nobody there, but it's in crazy too, because one person did said, I know what you said there too. They were saying too, like I was told she was going to be at the Oslo Business Conference last year, at the end of last year, and there was a free ticket offered to me to go to it. I would have had only paid for the flights and the hotel and stuff. I would have got in for free. But a lot of people were saying to I had, and a lot of people did say before and up to I went to it, even just around here, the local area. They said I probably should have been, like kind of, been the first person to meet her. That's what they were saying, and a lot of people did say too that I should have been the first person to meet her more than anybody else. Because as one person said at the thing, because I was saying about Santa Mountain, the only reason why I came, and even said it to the people who were sitting beside me, the only reason why I came was for Santa Mountain. Um, they said I must be the biggest fan of Santa Mountain and out, and I put up a community post about that. And that's what they said. And I do generally do think that too, to be totally honest, because I don't think many other people would be willing to do it just for one person. And I had no benefit to me because remember, I got no money out of it. The rest of them are making business deals and stuff like that. I'm just there for one person, to support one person and stuff like that. Beat that, yeah. But see, again, this is a business conference. Singers and stuff are willing to. Like Tig was at Sugar Ray was there. He was shaking hands with Orny Joes, etc., etc. Like he came down to shake hands with Orny. That's how I got to meet him. He was came down to shake hands. We wanted to go around into everybody and shake hands. That's what I'm saying. So I got to meet him, so at least you could say, but I didn't spend long. I could have took a photo with him. Didn't it? Like yourself, it doesn't come to my head. I would have for Santa Mountain, but for other people I've met, like I came across Richie Kavanagh before too. Never comes to my head. So that I could meet, President Joe Biden in the morning here or Donald Trump, and it never would click in my head. I'm not that, it never comes to my head. If that makes sense. And it's the last thought that comes to my head. Security, you asked me about the event, are you? Security. There was a bit of security, yeah. Like I do think there was some special detective unit there. Like plainclothes security. Yeah, well, I probably could have. If I wanted to go to my way, I could have probably got a big tech job somewhere. But at the end of the day, the thing that would have got to me, they would have looked up who I am and straight away to find out. That's the thing. It's the fact of the matter that I'm willing to speak my mind. I'm not willing to be quiet and stuff like that. That's the thing that's always going to be the biggest. And I said to you before about jobs and stuff like that. I'm never going to go anywhere in life as simple as that because I have an opinion. I have a conscience, and things like that. And that's the thing. And that's how you're not going to go anywhere in life because I challenge authority and stuff like that. Like even here, I'm challenging I often challenge politicians and stuff like that. You're never going to go anywhere. Simple as that. Adrian. Yeah, but see, that's just the thing. But anyway. So long story short, I enjoyed myself. As long as I enjoyed myself. If I didn't enjoy myself, I would have regretted it. But I got what I was able to listen to, and that was worth every penny. And that's at the end of the day, that was worth every penny, regardless of anything else. Yeah. Oh no, but to me, it would eat me up. Like it would eat me up not saying stuff, seeing injustice, seeing things that are wrong, not calling it out. If that makes any sense about it, it's something deep inside of me. Like it's a conscience. That's the simple side. My conscience is my morality. you speak up when you see wrong in the world. You don't sit and be quiet. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying 100%. But it's just I'm a different person, made out of different stuff. I'm an individual person, a real person. You know, as Sandra Mountain famously said, even though I'm a prime minister. But yeah, long story short, I'm happy that I went and stuff like that. It was a great honor, truly a great honor. I still can't. I'm still having goosebumps over it, to be totally honest. Meeting like seeing Santa Mountain. It feels unreal to me, and I suppose I never had that really feeling before meeting some, like not meeting some, but being in the room with such an inspirational person, a hero of mine. I never had that feeling. It's hard to describe it. It's really, especially because, as you know, my father nearly died a few weeks, like the 27th of December. It's a quite different. If you look back in the last room, it's a quite difference, and that's how I'm very thankful for Santa Mountain to be here. I'm very thankful that she came. Because I wouldn't be in such good form if she didn't. I generally wouldn't, but I would have been so upset and very annoyed over the traumatic experience, that time. And I still have to talk about. We'll talk about it this week coming about waiting 4 hours for an ambulance. I'm sure you would agree. It's a quite different. It's a quite different me from 6 days ago. And I have Santa Mountain to thank for that. Like nobody else is to thank for that. Santa Mountain. So thank you, Santa. I do appreciate it. It's something that I do appreciate. It's something for us. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because it did. Like, if you look back, like as soon as you finish the night, I don't want to tell you what to do, but please do have a look at the last live stream. Fiona was here. I broke down in tears because I was upset about my father, about the traumatic experience I faced. Because luckily he was going to die at one stage, and it was a difficult thing. Just there on the 27, waiting 4 hours for an ambulance too, having to go into Cavan General Hospital, waiting another hour for him to get into a hospital bed. It was torture. But there's a quite difference now because I wasn't fully over it 6 days ago, but now I'm a lot more livelier. I can feel it in myself too. I'm a lot more happier, and it's a good thing because and it's the simple truth, and I wouldn't be saying it if it isn't. So I have Santa Mountain to take for that. So thank you, Santa. So I'm happy over it anyway because if she didn't come, I wouldn't have went. This was that some. So there you go. Still going strong. Yes, we are. We're nearly finished, but we have a few more things to discuss with them. But do look at later on that live stream from 6 days ago because it's entirely different demeanor. But yeah, but we will get to the video on that because I still want to. I won't be satisfied until I get that out. That my poor father had to wait 4 hours on the ground waiting for an ambulance. It needs to be said, not just for my father, for people that at the moment, at this very moment, elderly people right up and down this country, they wait 4 or 5 hours for an ambulance. We're horrible people. Oh no, you're not horrible. Don't talk. I had worse people. Don't worry. I met worse people in my life. No, he's a very understanding people. He's supported me all the way through this. He's raw, and even you. I can never say your name, but you know yourself when I'm talking to when I'm talking to. But you always supported on the community posts and stuff and words of encouragement. So thank you for that. You don't think I didn't appreciate it, even though I don't reply to things. I do appreciate people, and I am very thankful for the support and stuff. And I'm thankful to everybody. So don't think I'm not thankful because, as Sandra Mountain said, it's about people. It's not about yourself. It's about people. And we do have a great community, and we should be very thankful. Even everybody here, we should be very thankful for that. Because at the end of the day, I'd be nobody without you, without people being here supporting me. So it is about people, and that's what it is. How dare you, Adrian? You're just great cracker. I would thank you very much. That's really nice of you. But it's all fun. It's all life is fun and games and having a bit of fun with the crack. If you can't have a bit of crack and a bit of fun, then there's not much there's not much point in life because there's dark moments, but we have to try and find some kind of positive. We need to try and find some way of looking at it. But I'm just saying too, it's a great difference. It is truly a great difference, and there was because I knew myself 6 days ago when I went live that time. I wasn't fully over what happened. And I'm really fit. I'm fit to make that video. Now, the last week I wasn't fit to do it. I didn't make the video because it was just not fit. It wasn't in the mindset. Now I'm fit and ready to do it. I have it up by the end of next week because I'm determined to do it. Before that, I was very defeated. I'm full of energy now. I'm fully determined to do it. To get the video up, have more energy, man. It's a good thing. It's a bad thing for our local politicians to see that I'm determined to put it up and determined to speak out about it. It's not good for them, but to hell with them. Mess and no, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It would have been worse if I paid the top dollar and only got a minute to talk to her, take a photo with her. Or then again, paying that money and not getting to see her at all. So it all worked out in the end because something deep down in me, and I tell you this straight, and I know it sounds weird, but something when I was paying that time, something deep down, because I was thinking, I was like, I should just pay the big money, the €3,000 to go to get VI the top dollar, the top ticket. And something deep down told me not to do it. I don't know what told me, but something told me. I don't know where it came from. Because at the time, I didn't know Santa Man wasn't going to be there all day. I thought she was going to be there all day. So, something told me. Something deep down told me that when I was booking it. And that's the only reason why. Because my gut told me something that, and it's funny. It's a funny way. Because it worked out in the end. It really, really did. Because you had to remember, I thought she would be at the conference the majority of the day, like the rest of them were there. Like she was the only one that wasn't there, like the majority, like the 2 days. No, it wasn't common sense. No, I would have paid like it was if Christmas wasn't coming up right that time, and I didn't have to pay for the person to do the wall, and the holiday for Finland. If I knew this a year in advance, by God, I would have paid it. It's just something. It all worked out. That's what I'm saying. God's plan. It does all work out. Taking me, I know that 100%. I know that. Don't worry. I'm not taking you serious. Don't worry. I'm not taking it serious. I know that. I'm here smiling. If I thought you were taking me serious, but I know it's. I know. Don't think I'm taking it serious. I'm just kind of explaining. So. Can't really talk, I should look. We all do that in the end, us cavan people. You're finished, excuse me. Anyway, the last thing. Near enough. The last thing. We look at our fidget spinners. Yes, I got a fidget spinner. It's Joe. It was nearly Joe for Biden. At least a good, nice fidget spinner. So we got a nice gift bag, along with stuff. Very nice of them. We got free water and Ribena, but that's gone obviously because I had that at the conference. But I had my nice fidget spinner. It's a bit out of date for fidget, but this is free. So I would have rather a hat or a jumper. I don't know whether they sell hats and jumpers. Yeah, it's a bit. I wasn't expecting a fidget spinner, but it's actually fun enough. I'm enjoying this because it gives me something to do. Like I done this on the bus and on the way down because I had nothing else to do. Like because everybody else is on the phone, I was out in the fidget spinner. So I just shows you how out of touch I am too. So there you go. But it's nice. It's Brandon's Piper. There. But so thank you for that too. And again, they were very nice to the staff and all that. They were good people. What do you think this is? Just to say, what do you think this is? Give me a sec. What do you think this is? No, have another guess. Glasses. It was look like I'm going to war with glasses. Come, no, it's not that. Jeez, get your mind out of the gutter. Pretend to be Irish, excuse me. And what do you mean? Americans do it all the time. What do you mean? There's people there from America that came over especially for that. Imagine how much they paid. But those people there literally said, my grandfather was from Ireland. Like, that's what they were saying. My great-grandfather was from Ireland. Banana case, excuse me. So, this is an umbrella. I can't take it out. It's unlucky to take. You ever hear the saying years ago, you never open an umbrella in the room. If I ever bring this outside, I show you it. But you're not allowed to there's no tradition, though it's saying and all. If you putting up an umbrella, it's unlucky in the house. That's what they say. So there you go, an umbrella. It's a weird enough thing. Everybody was like, and this is just the thing. Before I go into any more of the goodie bag, just listen for a sec, 1 sec. Just listen for 2 seconds. As soon as everybody came in and sat down, straight away into the bag, like everybody there, these are multi-millionaires. And straight away, as soon as they get free stuff, into the bag they go. Like I sat down and I didn't look in the bag for about 3 or 4 minutes because I was sitting down just getting my bearings of where I was and what I was doing. But everybody else, like literally the post beside me, that's a millionaire, like that has hundreds of millions a euro probably. Literally straight away into his bag. He barely got sitting down. He opened his bag, taking everything out, looking at it. It's insane. They love the freebies. These are millionaires, and I didn't look at me with, just knowing Joe, but that's what it was. It's an umbrella. So I would love to show you, if I ever go outside, to show you this. But you can't, it's unlucky, Irish tradition, you can't open an umbrella in the house. I don't know if anybody ever heard that before. Like, it's unlucky to have an umbrella fully open in the house. It is, yeah, but I wear a hat. I would have worn a hat. Would 100% wear a hat. And then obviously a nice pen, and obviously Brandon too. And then obviously the band too. Oh, no, we get a special VIP umbrella. Yeah, welcome to that. So it's I like that. Oh, then obviously nice, good bike. Yeah, majority. Like, I wouldn't use an umbrella because I'd be at work outside getting around it. So a nice water bottle. So that's that. It's very heavy now. Jesus, it's ton weight. I don't know why it's a ton weight, but it's good quality stuff now. Like, not hard. It's good quality stuff. No hats, excuse me. No, but this is good quality. This wasn't this wasn't cheap. Now I tell you this, it's a good quality. No, but the confection said I think it was nearly 4,000 people at it. So it was a lot of. It wouldn't be that. It'd be a lot of money now for all the goodie bags. Everybody got them. That's the water bottle too. Along the umbrella, and then obviously the bag too. And then obviously there was water and Wibino and stuff for the drinks. And then there was some sweets. Yes, there was sweets. There was a few sweets, but obviously they're gone now. So it's sweets and stuff. There's leaflets and stuff like that. Different freebies and stuff like that for different things. Like codes for different things if you want the educational lessons and stuff. Some business thing, but it's no good for me, like free different things stuff. We'll put them over there. And then obviously the last thing we got to is a nice wee book. Well, it's a wee book with loads of pages and stuff. So yeah, worth the money. Worth getting in it. So thank you to them for that. I put them in now. I won't be using these now. It's nothing on the fucking book. So that's the thing. Nothing on the book. It's just blank. Unless I write something on. For that kind of money. But as I say, it's there was champagne there, yeah. Actually, no, speaking of, there was actually champagne, yeah. There was champagne in there, like for the free meals and stuff. There was champagne there, yeah. And then obviously the free thing, there was champagne too. Afterwards, there was champagne. But I didn't get it. I didn't take any champagne. I don't drink anyway. So. Flask for tea. It'd be good flask for tea. It's a queer. No, it's spent a good bit of, like, everything else is cheapish, But the bottle is very good quality. Like I said, I don't know about the umbrella. I didn't open the umbrella, but this goes for a good while. I should read the room. We're not in 2016. It was good. I didn't think we were going to get any freebies at all, to be totally honest. To be totally honest, I didn't think we were going to get anything. No, we're not going to do that. No. So yeah, I think that's it. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, we make a documentary with Santa. No, um, we'll vote to you what the fun ways, the fun we vote. You can do it. I don't know. I think OT might have interviewed Santa Mountain for a minute or two. I don't know. Like OT funded it. Uh, am I asking for a wee fund? No, I'm not. Of course not. I enjoyed myself. I'm not going to look for a wee fund. I'm happy enough. Yeah, if Santa wasn't there, I would be looking for a wee fund. But Santa was there, and I'm happy. I heard her. I'm delighted with what I heard from her, etc. etc. I'm not going to enjoy myself. The staff were nice. They were very respectful, etc. So there's nothing to complain about. Just to say, I got the second. It wasn't the 3,000. It was the 1,125 year one. Yeah. Sean will be here later on saying, "Oh, wait, I didn't get a notification." This, yeah, she spoke for about 30 minutes. I think it's a pity that she didn't speak longer. I think she would have probably actually spoke longer, but the fact that she had to get on the plane, like her plane left at just after 12 o'clock, and when she got up and spoke, was about 10:15. So it was near 11 o'clock or so by the time she finished. And then obviously to get to the airport, took a few photos, took a few questions from the press. It would have been, even if I did pay the top dollar, it would have been tight for time. I'm sure you would agree. And also the BT Young Scientist Award was on the same time. But speaking German now. The me team. But anyway, is there any questions now? Because if anybody wants to know anything, particularly, now is the time to tell me. Because we will be talking about, I probably will make a video just talking about it just for a few minutes. Not today now, not today or tomorrow. Probably sometime next week after the other video's up. I make a video just saying what I thought about it all. So is that okay? Just give me 2 seconds. I just the one to the toilet and I'll be back with you. Sorry, I probably missed more stuff. I can move this. Sorry, because again, maybe the yoke. I can't move up now. These comments. So give me 2 seconds. Give me one. Sorry, I went to the toilet and the cat was outside, so they've been going. Where was it? Sorry. Oh, quickly after too much Santa. Just checking. No, I didn't miss anything. Really. They call me far white. Excuse me. Oh, I'm already called far white. So what's the difference? Yeah, that's all. I didn't miss much. So are you sure there's no other questions about the summer now? Because don't be asking me next week or in 6 weeks' time because there'll be too much to discuss. Favorite fruit? Jesus, that's great. I don't really eat much fruit, to be honest. So I couldn't say I eat fruit now and again, but nothing that overly, you know. So I can't really ask them. Was the white bean nice? Yes, it was white bean. Yeah, I think it was white bean. Like it was white bean and water, like anything. Like water along with white bean. That's the best thing. Again, 2 separate bottles. Just. I don't know now. I was just thirsty. I drank all my water and then I drank the white bean. So I just was too not bothered to get up. So I just drank the white bean. No, don't do that now. Please don't do that now. We couldn't do that. No, Lucas said. Well, what? In the conference, you mean? I have Lucas said here. I need to put it all over myself. No, I wouldn't like that now. I wouldn't like that now. We have a tougher job as it is already going around doing things without having more rubbish. Bam, bam. So yes, there's nothing else. So I think we probably leave it there for tonight. I know it's a long night, from nearly 4 hours. But yeah, there was a lot to talk about. There's probably more. But the main thing is, and I will put a video just giving my brief thoughts. Like, well, if I say brief, it might be 6 hours. But there's a lot more Sandra Mowen said. Like word for word, I could talk about it. But word for word, I'd be here literally all day because it was 30 minutes of her speaking. So, but basically that's what she said too. And she said too, just one actually last thing I say. Let me just show you this actually. Just when I'm here, just so I show you. Because it's better to show you stuff than not show you stuff, if that makes any sense. Just speaking about money and power, because actually just saying about money and stuff like that. Yeah, so just one more thing actually. Her own stuff. What do you mean by her own stuff? Yeah, she's writing her own book, yeah. It's not out yet, but So yeah, of course. Uh, yeah, there's too much stuff going on, but we will get back to it. Wednesday, we will get back to a lot of stuff. But just one more thing, just saying stuff like that. Like Santa Mountain said, and then she's 100% right. Fum finished up on stuff, says nation must wake up to conflict and global change. Mountain said the world has changed, and one of international cooperation is all about money and power. Like that's what I'm saying. Like she didn't, like she said, money and power matters. Yeah, that's the no, not matters, but that's what people are taking nowadays. The majority of people think about money and power. That's all. Like she's 100% right. Like that's what shows me too. That it's not money that influences Saddam Mountain. It's not no money can influence them. It's just the issues. You know, that's what I'm saying. Because I never it's not about the money and power. Like she was asked one time too, how does it feel to have power when she was young, when she was a few months in as prime minister? She said, what was she said? Um, what was I have to actually fact check what it was, but she was asked about it before. Uh, what was the time? I can't remember exactly what she said. No, that sounds bad. Good evening, Sean. You missed a lot. We were saying that you'd be angry that you missed that, but yeah, no, I think she's right. Like she's 100%. We would agree. Like people are too worried about money and power nowadays. But what was it that it was? I have to fact check. How does that sound? I have to fact check it. But she did was definitely asked because I even remember watching some. I'll actually look it up because I need to look it up now because I can't remember exactly. I should remember. I know I can picture her being there, being asked, but I can't remember exactly word for word what she said. Which is very shameful if you ask me. That I can't quote her off the top of my head. So don't shoot me. So I hope you're doing well, Sean. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Um, it might take a minute or two for me to get it. Till we get it. I hope we're ready for an hour of fucking looking for this. Just give me a second. I'll pause. See, the problem at the moment is I know where it is. I'm just listening to a bit of it because I'm trying to figure remember whereabouts it is. So just bear with me. Yeah, I know where there's. I know. I'm trying to listen through the video so I can remember whereabouts this. Yeah, so I figured it out. I heard it there. It's in Finnish now, but I didn't see the translation of it. She pretty much said, yeah, it's the issues that matter more than the power. It's the issues that matter more to reflect change of the power, pretty much. Reflect the change. Power means change, pretty much. You have the ability to change stuff. So it's not like, oh, I want the change, I want the power to, to be might and, all that. So pretty much very, not like, oh, it's great, I would like having power. Because the question was, how does the power feel to have as prime minister? And she pretty much was like, it's more the power of the change stuff more than anything else. There's a comedy code even. Yeah, we'll get a comedy star, but but she'd look at it. No, that's what I was looking for. Sorry about that. Apologies, everyone. I take power. That's very good. Klaus Schwab's I love you then. So I can put you in touch with Klaus Schwab if you want. He's looking for somebody that can have a great reset. But anyway, thank you, everyone. We won't be getting any wallpaper standing around on the wall. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist, and I think it'd be €1 billion if that was the case. So we leave it there. Thank you. Interesting live stream. I don't think anybody expected me to go on and on and on for nearly 4 hours. 4 hours went on. Never shut me fucking mouth for 4 hours. Interesting thing, Maybe Santa should come more often, maybe. No, I won't ask for money back. Jesus, I don't need the money. I'm fine. The money, it's only an object money. It doesn't matter. The people that matters. People that matters. Nothing else matters. I don't want the money back. Then keep it. I don't care. So hats. We do have hats. You've seen the other one. So yeah, take care. We have to go, Tony. So good night. We probably be back. We see you tomorrow. Maybe we do a game in live stream tomorrow to get some of that game finished. So I know I won't be going. No, I won't. No, if she's not going next year, I won't be going. So was that. Collected, yeah, of course she was paid too for going to the yes. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, so probably would probably be, but I don't know. It wouldn't be probably that much too, But yeah, the whole company again, yeah. Put your money, buy a coffee. But anyway, take care, one. Appreciate you for being here. I know it's a long night. I know you want to ask 100 probably one question, Sean, but we were talking all night about it. So take care, one. Abuse, but anyway, here, take care. Good night and God bless.